Today's video is sponsored by War Thunder. Hello and welcome to 100 days of being a Necromancer in Skyrim. My name is Tizzy. Sit back and enjoy. Conjuration magic today. We're raising the dead every chance we get to push through the game best we can for 100 days. Picking a Breton for my race because they have the highest starting level in Conjuration. Meet Rodney. Rodney's about to be Skyrim's most famous necromancer. Ah yes, my first potential friend. Sadly, Alduin turned up, ruining my plans as well as the Imperial's plans to put me on the block. We're running through Helgen, dodging the dragon, trying to escape. And we do. Ran off with Ralof into the keep. We might be safe from the dragons in here, but we aren't safe from the Imperials. The rules for this video are simple. The build is focusing on Conjuration, and more specifically the undead side of things. I'm only allowed to do damage with risen corpses and undead looking summons like the skeleton summons added in the Anniversary Edition. As of right now, I have neither of those things, so we're relying on the Stormcloaks to help me get through the place. The Imperial soldier runs away using the key she had to open the way ahead. Ralof on the chase, kills her, and tells me to take the key off her. Why? I have no idea. The door's already open. I regret going with the Stormcloaks already. I could just dash through the rest of the place, but I did want to get the extra lockpicks Ralof gives you to open this cage and also get the mage's robes and hood you can get off this friendly. Yeah, dead people are friendlies to me in this run. Speaking of running past the spiders and the bear in the last area. And we are out. Enabled survival mode and started to make my way to the standing stones, collecting all of the ingredients I could along the way. Obviously, I took the Mage's Stone, though I will switch to the Ritual Stone later. Just got the Mage's Stone while I'm here. I made sure to get Ralof's help fighting the wolves going to Riverwood. He did a good job. It would be better if he was a raised corpse though. And finally, I made it to Riverwood. Now, I'd normally be here a little longer than I was today. I'd hit the trader, gather some food from around town and so on, then maybe rest till the morning. But after taking all of Gerder's supplies she was offering, I quickly ran off in Whiterun's direction. It's getting close to the time of day where butterflies will hide for the night. Before that happens, I want to collect as many of them as possible. The blue butterflies, specifically. Sticking to the water to avoid the wolves didn't work out how I'd hoped with that stupid mud crab taking a chunk out of me, but it's fine. So you can use the blue butterflies and blue mountain flowers to make some nice and simple potions to sell. They aren't the best, but it doesn't take hardly any time to get a load of these things and have a nice amount of starting gold this way. Just circled around Whiterun until they stopped showing up because it got too late. Then went to Whiterun's doors to get access after telling the guards I have news of the dragon attack. The city is also riddled with ingredients for potions. Spent the rest of the day collecting as many as I could and ended up with 32 blue butterfly wings and 83 blue mountain flowers. Perfect. Early hours day 2 and I'm ready. Picking flowers is the perfect way to start our dead raising skeleton slinging build. I'm heading into Dragon's Reach. Not because I want to talk to the Jarl. I probably should, and I did. I told him about the dragon situation in Helgen and that Riverwood needs some guards and was thanked and given a task from his court wizard who's been researching dragons and wants me to get a Dragonstone that shows all of the ancient dragon burial grounds marked around Skyrim. It can be gotten from a place called Bleak Falls. But I want to buy some books. I can't afford any, but I want to buy some books. Made enough potions to level me up, and while encumbered, I walked down very slowly to the inn and bought some food before resting to wake the town up. Had a level up to spend from the potion crafting I did. You get an attribute point to spend, as well as a perk point with each level up. Took health for the attribute, giving me plus 10 into that, and then dumped the perk point into Alchemy's Alchemist skill to give me 20% better potion crafting. Now that the shops are open around town, I went into the alchemy store to make the rest of my potions. These are for selling only. I sold them to the lady that owns the place and went next door to buy a backpack to carry more crap and sold more of my crafted potions I had to Belethor. Then, lastly, the blacksmith took most of my heavy things I was hoarding to sell off my hands, and it's time to get some spells. I went back to the court wizard and took 4 total. Took Reanimated Corpse, Soul Trap, Turn Lesser Undead, and sure, why not? I'll take the weaker version of Reanimated Corpse called Raise Zombie. The Reanimated Corpse one lets you, as you would assume, bring back some people from the dead to fight for me. Sadly, I can only have 1 meat sack at any time with this spell for now, but that's better than no meat sacks. Soul Trap will be useful later, but I do have Turn Lesser Undead too, and that is an apprentice restoration spell. I know, controversial, except not really. I think being able to control the undead, making them flee with this spell fits nicely, and there's also some skills in the restoration tree that I think will go along nicely with the build, like the Necromage Perk, for example. The only rule here is that I have to use undead to do damage to enemies only. So I'm gonna say this is fine. Slept 1 more hour to spend my 2nd level from crafting the rest of my potions. The attribute again went into health, and the perk point went into novice conjuration, making novice conjuration spells cost half the magic it to cast. Alright, we are off to get a skeleton buddy. Taking the carriage to Winterhold, right after I sell more of my scam potions to the Khajiit caravan just outside Whiterun. There we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Rasad. And off we go. It's 9 p.m. Mages should be asleep, but we can wake them up, so it's fine. Gained access to the college by casting a simple mage light spell Ferelda gave me, and went to warm up. It's cold out here. Standing by a candle. I know, it's... I'm not sure if the candle's doing it, or just because I'm inside. The skeleton summon spell isn't available in the base game, sadly. It got added with the Anniversary Edition, which I mostly play. Bought it for just 151 gold from the Conjuration Mage, and I'm really not expecting much from this guy. Skeletons are famously absolute crap in the Skyrim world. I love fighting them because they fall to bits the second you touch them. But it's all I got for now without finding a dead body to reanimate. Speaking of reanimating, I'll wait for the sun to raise before heading out in the morning. It's really cold here, and I might die walking to Winterhold in the dark. I've warmed up and had a rest. I want to hit the trader in town before I leave. I'm just gonna sell her some of my potions to get some more gold. I should have gotten a horse before coming here. Traveling on foot will be no fun, and there's no carriage here in Winterhold. The closest one's at Windhelm, and Windhelm's not far from here, but there is very much a lot of bears, wolves, and wraiths between the two towns. Luckily, I didn't really run into much, and the wolves I did run into were mostly distracted, except these ones. Threw down Rodney Jr. to take the hits while I ran for my life. I'm at Windhelm. I don't really have anything to do here right now. I will quickly check the trader's inventories. I should have checked the Conjuration Mage's inventories to see if I could afford some Conjuration robes, but oh well. Windhelm's got nothing for me. I wanted to come here to take the carriage back to Whiterun. Because now, after buying a horse from the stables, I want to go get the Ritual Stone activated and then go see about taking on Bleak Falls. The Ritual Stone is really not far from Whiterun. We cross this bridge to the side of the town and follow the path. We will be there in no time. Had a mage on the way. Send out Rodney Jr. again, and he had his way. And you know what? These robes have the same stats as my current robes, but I kinda like the darker look of these ones, so I'll wear these instead. The Ritual Stone is guarded by a few enemies. A Necromancer, who is at the moment a much more powerful one than me. A zombie, and then a skeleton the mage is reanimating. Knowing Rodney Jr. can't deal with this on his own very well, I ran in quickly to hit the stone and get the power while they were busy. The powers can only be used once a day. This stone gives me a power to reanimate nearby corpses to fight for me, and unlike my spells, I can raise all undead around me, not just one. It'll replace the mage stone we activated, but even only being able to use it once a day, we have 100 days. That's a lot of times I will get to take advantage of this power. Waited for the sun to come up and went up the west mountain from Riverwood. This will take us to Bleak Falls. And now with the skeleton and Ritual Stone, I really shouldn't have any trouble taking it on. There is a little tower with 3 bandits between here and there. I used Rodney to take out one and then raised my first friend. He is looking worse than my bony friend. Somehow, he didn't manage to take down even one of the other 2 bandits and forced me to use my skeleton again after he died. Finished him off for me, and I raised the 2nd bandit, who did a lot better than the one before him, killing the archer that was left. Looted the tower and moved on to Bleak Falls. Pretty easy on the outside, besides looking like my horse is about to die from being jumped by everyone, my skeleton handled business. Then, just inside, raising this chump. There's 2 bandits ahead. He killed one, and then I raised the newly deaded. And he killed his friend for me. I love it. Did get a level up, so I'm gonna rest at this sleeping bag. Attribute went into health, and I took Apprentice Conjuration for the perk point to make apprentice spells like this reanimated corpse cost half the magicka it once did. Now the next room has a puzzle. This guy failed the puzzle and got poisoned by darts. It's okay, I'll give him a second wind in a second. Solved the puzzle, opened the gate, and brought him back to deal with the ski. Never mind, he's dead. Thought he would last longer than that. Guess it's back to the skeleton minion. Punch my way through the web wall to meet the spider. I'll just use Rodney Jr. to deal with him. I'm gonna be here for a while, like the title suggests. We're playing in legendary difficulty, by the way. Difficulty scaling in this game is very much just more or less damage and health, and that's it. With the summon, I can just chill out and stay out of trouble. The higher difficulty in this case just means I'm here for longer. But it's dead, and I can even reanimate the spider, but it can't come with me through the tunnel I'm about to take because it's too big, sadly. I'd like to take a minute to thank today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is not just a comprehensive vehicle combat game, but it's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game I've ever played. With over 2,500 tanks, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations. If you want to take the fight to the enemies from the ground, skies, or seas, then guess what? You can. With hugely immersive gameplay and intense combat, detailed vehicles, and amazing sound effects, this game both looks and sounds great, and will keep you busy for hours on end with its epic PvP battles, throwing you into the mix with over 70 million other players, and its over-the-top amounts of content to discover. I love this game, and you wouldn't believe it, but it's absolutely free to play on like every device. PC, Xbox, mobile, PlayStation, you name it. Help me out using my link in the pinned comment and video description to give it a go. You like massive bonus packs? Well, we've got them, and they are in fact massive. On PC and consoles for a limited time only, new and returning players that haven't played for at least 6 months will get multiple premium vehicles and an exclusive vehicle decorator, Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account for free to help you get a nice head start getting into the game. Shout out to War Thunder for once again sponsoring our videos. This is Auriel. He's in possession of the Golden Claw, an item we need to progress through a door in this dungeon. Breaking him free, he'll run off only to die to the Draugr in the next room. Never mind, he walked into a trap, but it's okay, I'm a Necromancer. I can still make this happen. Brought him back and let him die to the Draugr like he's supposed to. There's a fair few Draugr I have to deal with now going forward. Well, when I say we, I mean my bony friend. The turn lesser undead spell that makes undead flee for 30 seconds was nice. Got one to run away, helping my minions stay alive longer by not taking so much damage. It also raises my restoration tree a little, so it's a win-win. Made it all the way to the door and realized something. I didn't get that stupid claw from the Dark Elf. Turned my butt back around and tried to find the pile of ash that was once Auriel. It's one of these. But which one? I'm going left. Nope, not Auriel. Yep. Is this one over here? Got it. When you reanimate things with the spell, they die and turn into an ash pile, so you can't keep reanimating the same corpse over and over again. Hit each of the buttons on the door 2 times each to get the combination to match the claws, and opened it up to go into the final room. The room with the word wall. Learned my first word of power, and it's time to take on the Draugr overlords. I really don't have to, but I'm luring back to the other room to use my ritual stone power. Briefly, I now have an army of 3 undead, and I really mean briefly. They're very weak friendlies, and I'm quickly realizing how good the skeleton is this early on. It went down swiftly, but Rodney Jr. got the killing blow, letting me take the Dragonstone from the Overlord's body. Made sure to go back and loot the chests in the room he came from. Now we can get back to Farengar, the court wizard. Got a level up to spend. Attribute again went into health, and the perk point can go into Conjuration's dual casting. Dual casting the spell overcharges the spell, allowing it to last longer. So Rodney Jr. has a bit of an upgrade, as well as the other friends we make if we dual cast. Farengar can wait, by the way. I want to start farming potions for benefits in the field and being able to get my cold hands on plenty of gold. Before I go start farming, I obviously need plants to farm first. I have a fair bit I needed already, but I'd like to get some Scaly Foliota and Creep Cluster to go with my Mara Tapanella for money-making potions. So I checked in on Acadia. All she really had that I wanted was a single Creep Cluster. I know we can get those 2 ingredients I'm after between Riften and Windhelm, but before I go, I'd like to go collect some more blue butterflies. I ran out of those potions to sell, and getting just a single butterfly will be over 200 gold in my pocket at this point, since we get 2 wings per butterfly. That's 2 potions per catch, and I already have the blue flowers. Alright, so I got a handful of butterflies. Now I'm being lazy taking the carriage to Riften. The town's asleep, so I'm just gonna hit the road from here. First ingredient we're after is Scaly Foliota, and it's pretty easy to get if you know what to look for. Scaly Foliota grows on dead birch-looking trees. You can find logs laying on the ground like that, or broken stumps like this one. Got 9 total, which should be plenty to get started, and I can't move in towards Windhelm. There's this springs-looking area where Creep Cluster can easily be found at. Following the paths around, you'll get more than enough to match the Foliota I just got. Perfect, with all of the ingredients I need, I'm taking the carriage from Windhelm back to Whiterun. Did sleep for a few hours to restore my magicka because I was tired, and I didn't realize before doing that I'm riddled in disease. I got both severe Witbane and Brown Rot. Brown Rot means sleeping is less effective at keeping me rested. Okay, because you can praise Talos for 100 gold in town at this shrine to remove every disease I have. Now for the plant farming situation. I want to get the farm added in the anniversary edition, and it's so insanely easy to get. Oh my god. Some like myself would say too easy. There is some downsides to it, like it being kinda awkward to get to, having no carriage access to and from the place. And there is storage containers that can't be trusted, and having a family there just doesn't seem to work for me. Crossing the Saber Fields by Whiterun, I made it. There's a hostile ghost outside the farm, conveniently chilling next to his corpse. Got the ghost to fight his meat bag. Bit of a unfair fight. The reanimation didn't pick up the axe, and he's just punching him. Like you would think, my friend lost, and I'm back to Rodney Jr. He's dead, and now we can go into the farmhouse to see what's going on. There's another corpse. This time, a woman. Raised her from the dead, and then her ghost came out to play. However, my zombie is not doing much, or of anything, really. Just standing there, taking the hits. Casted Rodney, and closed this secret shelf door on them, leaving them to work out their problems. I think she's dead. You were looking awful proud of yourself. Good job. Now what's going on here is that woman blamed her husband for their child's disappearance, thinking he had something to do with it. So she tried to poison him. That resulted in him dying, but before he did die, he took an axe to her, and now they're both dead. But really, after doing some investigating around the property, the child had ran off with his toy sword and got himself killed by some wolves. Returned the wooden sword to the home and was given approval from the family to use their home. The farm has not just this patch of planted space, but a second massive patch. Got right to work planting my ingredients. The way this works is you plant one item in the ground and it will infinitely grow after a set amount of time has passed, meaning I can harvest that same plant over and over with just a short cooldown period. First, I'm planting Tundra Cotton and Mara Tarpanella for both Restore Magicka and Fortify Magicka in the same potion. Then Blue Mountain Flower, Wheat, and Lavender for Fortify Conjuration. And lastly, to make money making potions, it's Creep Cluster, Scaly Foliota, and more Mara Tarpanella. It's very late day 6, but it's all planted. The first harvest is pretty quick to come around. I'm gonna just sleep the 24 hours while I'm here, and I'll wait for the harvests after that. Yep, just 24 hours, and it's all already grown, and we can get to work gathering it all up. I always forget how many plants you get per plot for each of the ingredients, by the way. You can see I'm getting 3 of some, 4 of another, and even 5s. I really need to make a list of how much of what you get. I always end up having to balance the plots later by removing and adding more or less of whatever to balance the yield. I've collected everything, crafted a few of those blue butterfly and flower potions to grind the level, slept an hour and took health for the attribute, as well as Alchemy's second alchemist for 40% better potion mixing. Then again, made more until I had another level to spend. Pumping health and investing into Alchemy's Physician, so potions I mix that restore health, magic, or stamina are 25% more powerful. And I noticed I messed up. Well, I don't want to blame anyone else, but I will. I double-checked recipes on a Reddit list, and the one meant for Restore Magicka and Fortify Magicka isn't working. 100 Cotton plus Mara Tarpanella doesn't work. I should use Red Mountain Flowers and Mara Tarpanella for that. I'll have to redo some things in the field. But I got some of those made, and also the health/conjuration potions to buff my health, as well as to heal me, and make conjuration spells last longer. The potions will only get better the more we make. Made some money makers too. There's upgrades we can get for the farm still. Let's head off and buy some items we need and grab a person to help out here. Ooh, Novice Robes of Conjuration. I'll take it. Kinda sad I love the black robes. Better get something on. This day was pretty all over the place, trying to get my farm all sorted. Bought some things like iron and straw for the buildable upgrades, and then went to Halted Stream Camp, which is a bandit camp, to get my hands on this pickaxe. And hit up Riverwood to do the very simple love triangle quest to have Faendel be a follower option. Took him back with me to the farm and made him my steward. Just gotta wait for him to catch up. He's taking a while. There he is. Thought maybe he died along the way. There's a lot of benefits to having a steward here. You can have him hire some farm hands, which I did right away. They'll farm ingredients and put them in the house for us to use. The farm also acts as a passive income. Coming back from time to time, I can collect profits from my steward, so the place will pay for its own upgrades. Speaking of upgrades, I got all of the upgrades done I could make at the workbench, and now it's nighttime. And the place is mostly done. Got a nice smithing area over here. 2 extra planters by the door with 6 more plots total. A very empty animal pen. The windmill is working again, so that's nice. We have a stable for the horses and another home for the farmhands and the stewards. The farmhands work more efficiently with a nice home. With some upgrades, like the cow, goats, chickens, a loft, and a dining room upgrade. I'll buy more upgrades when the place makes profit to be able to afford them.
I'm sorry, but you can't afford that right now.
Farm is up and running, and we have pockets full of potions. Let's go do the next part of the main quest line. I'm still holding on to the Dragonstone from Bleak Falls. I should really get that given to Farengar. Take it, wizards. There's trouble. A dragon's attacked the watchtower down the road from the city, and the Jarl wants me to go with Auriel and some guards to investigate. I had to sleep first and spent my 9th level attribute on health, and put the perk point into Summoner to let me summon things and raise undead from twice as far away. Now on the road with the guards and Auriel. Hardly ever walk with them to the watchtower, but here we are. Approaching, a panicked guard comes out of the tower shouting to stay back because the dragon's still around somewhere. He was right. There is the dragon. Now we have to kill our first dragon. Started out with Rodney Jr., but the dragon quickly chewed up this guard, so I think it's only fair we go help him get his revenge. Raised him from the dead, and off he goes. Sadly, it didn't go any better the second time around. Probably should have left him rest, except this is a Necromancer video, and that's not how things work around here. The dragon is dead, and the body is far too powerful to reanimate, but not too powerful to eat. Consumed its soul, learning the character is dragonborn and can use shouts now. You find shouts on word walls and unlock them by devouring a dragon's soul and using it to unlock the shouts. The Jarl tells me I should talk to the Graybeards. They'll help me learn about being a dragonborn, but I have better things to be doing, like eating people. No, really. I'm gonna become a cannibal. To do that, we first need to get over to the city of Markarth in the Reach. So we're taking a carriage again. I'm here, and Markarth is easily not the safest city to be in. Actually, it's probably the least safe. The second you walk into the city, poor Margaret gets murdered and there's shouting about the Forsworn going on. Guards kill Waylon the attacker, but I was curious what they do if he got raised back up. The answer is they really don't care. A murderer in the city is worse than a zombie in the city, apparently. Tried to bring back Margaret too, but she just turned into ash almost instantly. Not cool, game? Not cool. The Forsworn aren't the only thing plaguing the city. See, half of the town are cannibals too. I need to investigate the Hall of the Dead to start the process of joining their ways. Talked to this priest of Arkay about helping out. He says the dead in the Hall of the Dead have been disturbed. Eaten, even. Persuaded him to give me the key to the hall to go investigate for him. So I open the door with the key and head on in. This is where the Nords keep the city's dead, and I quickly heard a voice inside.
I feel the hunger inside of you, gnawing at you. You see the dead, and your mouth grows wet. Your stomach growls.
Oh, I feel a hunger. Waiting around for the person the voice belongs to show up. Her name's Iola. She's who's been disturbing the dead. She explains her ways and tries to convince me I'm the same as her. I'm not, but I will be. She wants me to help clear the Draugr from Reachcliff Cave to reclaim a shrine of Namira, the Lady of Decay. She poofs, and I'm off to tell the priest the hall will no longer be disturbed. He's happy, at least temporarily, and I'm off. Off to the cave. It's not too far from the city, honestly. Walked on over and met back with Iola, who I asked to lend me a hand clearing the cave. It's pretty easy in here, with me reanimating Draugr as I go, and Iola also being a necromancer raising the dead. It's one big zombie party, and it wasn't even close to hard. There's that creepy looking shrine, and now it's time to prepare a feast. Iola thinks she knows of the perfect main course. That priest that had the Hall of the Dead locked up. Went back, tried to persuade him to go with no pay, and even threatened him, but sadly all that worked was giving him 126 gold to accompany me. He thinks he's come in to offer Arkay's protection, while I delve looking for treasure. Wanted to sell some things before I go back, hit the alchemist, except not literally, and went to hit the general store merchant, but she's not here. I forgot, she too is a cannibal, and is 100% waiting at the party to eat the priest. Better get moving. Don't want everyone going hungry. And yep, there is the general store trader. This part's kind of odd to me. He sees all of the bones and flesh around, but is very easily convinced to just lay on the creepiest bed in all of Skyrim. Iola wants me to kill him. Gave him a quick bop, and he's dead. Lucky me, I get the first bite, and now starts my journey as a cannibal.
Mortal, I am Namira, the Lady of Decay. Your consumption of the blood and bile of Arkay's own is pleasing to me. I give you my ring. Wear it, and when you feast on the flesh of the dead, I will grant you my power.
Perfect. Now we have Namira's ring, which will be a permanent part of my loadout, mostly for fun and not so much for efficiency, but it does have some nice effects. I can eat corpses while wearing it to regenerate health and hunger, and I have a nice chunk of stamina added onto it. Now, can I raise this guy, is the question. No. Resisted reanimation? How? You are dead. How can you resist? Wanted to tell him he tasted delicious. My time, at least for now, in Markarth is over. Let's take the carriage to Solitude. I didn't plan on going into the city, but it's late, I'm tired, and a little hungry. So I'll sort myself out, then hit the road after that. Got this guy getting put down. He helped Ulfric escape Solitude when he killed King Torg. So, he's now paying for it. I bring this guy back without his head. Nope, they do not like me trying to do that. Yeah, I'm dead. Sorry, buddy, I tried. How about eating him? Yeah, it looks like they have no problem with me doing that. Since we play in survival mode and hunger is actually a thing we have to manage, eating people will fill up my hunger level, meaning I can both save money and time by doing that when I can. Got a level up to spend too. Took health for the attribute and put the perk into Necromancy to have an even greater duration in keeping my reanimations alive. Anyway, I've rested and have a belly full of human. Let's go see about getting the next piece of armor that will have a permanent place on my face. That is a Dragon's Priest mask called Vokun. You can find it to the side of Solitude in a dungeon marked just above my head over there. The dungeon's called Highgate Ruins, and just inside you find a lady who wants help getting some kind of scroll from the end of the place. Use my ritual stone power on the crap load of Draugr in the room and use them to slay their friends in the next room. I'm not 100% sure that necromancy perk I took works with the ritual stone power, but I'm thinking maybe it does. Feel like it might be. This place took a long time to get through though. So many undead to get through, and it does mean I get a lot of levels into Conjuration. I was raising every single dead body I could find, trying to boost the skill tree best I could. Felt pretty safe, there being two of us and a Draugr or skeleton following me around at all times. It really just was a massive waiting game, watching health bars very slowly trickle down. Finally made it to the end, where Vokun rests, a dragon priest with a mask that if I can pry it from his face, I can then wear it to have a 20% cost reduction to my conjuration spells. I was here waiting for him to die for about 20 minutes. And he's dead. There it is. We can get better conjuration helmets by just making them ourselves, but this is a nice early game one, and I kind of just want it for vanity. Got the lady, her scroll too. She gave me a spell as a reward that I'm never gonna use. Went home to see if my plants had grown, and they had, so that was nice. Got them all harvested. It's nice having the extra planters outside the door too. I even got my first passive income payment from the farm off Faendel, and paid more than he gave me on getting the rest of the house upgrades. Got the inside all nice and decorated. I hate it. At 2 level ups from the potion spamming. I do want to start working on the speech tree because it's just very helpful while grinding the crafting skills like enchanting and smithing by just having more gold in general from trades, but also the merchant perk that lets you trade any kind of item to any kind of trader. Having so much more gold will mean I can buy out soul gems and other resources easier, obviously. Then I can boost the crafting trees easier. But to get speech leveled faster, we need to get some gold to start with. So I'm hitting all of the Whiterun traders to get as much gold as I can by selling my junk I've looted that I don't want and the potions I made specifically to bankrupt the rest of Skyrim. The goal is to get speech to level 50 total for that merchant perk. With Whiterun successfully robbed, let's go to Solitude next. This is where we can use our gold to train our speech level at the Bard's College. Sometimes the bard that will teach you hangs out at the Winkin' Skeever. Figured I'd check here before passing on, but I couldn't find him, so let's go to the Bard's College itself. There he is. Should be able to afford the 5 training sessions since the level's pretty low still for now. Yep, there we go. Got a level up from that. Let's go back to the Winkin' Skeever to sleep for a bit to spend that level and wake up the town. Putting the perks into speech still. taking a lure to have 10% better barter in the opposite sex, and the second Hagelin perk to give me 15% better bartering in general. Now that I've leveled up, I can do 5 more training sessions. Unfortunately, after trading all that I could with the town's merchants, I only had enough gold for the 4. I love the Khajiit caravans around Skyrim. I don't say it enough. Leaving to go do something else, and seen there was one parked outside Solitude I could trade with. Got the last gold I needed for that final speech level I could get. Now we have to level up again to do the next 5 sessions. I've got these soul gems. Some are filled and some are not. Gonna need lots of these to boost enchanting later, so let's go see about getting the empty ones or soul to house. To fill them, we use the soul trap spell I got earlier, and if what I casted it on dies soon after the cast, it will fill a soul gem. If I have a gem capable of carrying that soul, that is. Then I can spend the gems on enchanting items. So while doing this and collecting blue butterflies, we should get a level up fairly easily. My adventures took me over to Whiterun. Going in circles is fun. Traded with a Khajiit caravan here again, and proceeded to rob all of the gold I could get my hands on from the town. Traders have a set amount of gold that will replenish after some time, so it's good to keep returning to the same traders when enough time has passed. Oh, I've got basically all of the gems filled too, by the way. We'll need more, but it's going good. Getting whiplash here. Literally, my screen's fuzzy and I'm in Solitude once more to get my speech up to level 50. Hopefully. Had to sleep to fix my vision because I was tired. Today's the day. At least, it better be. I'm up early and the traders aren't up yet. Waiting for them to open their stores. Only a few more minutes and we can go in. I'm in. I'm taking this old lady's gold. The general store traders aren't safe either. Should have enough gold to do 5 training sessions with a Christmas hat guy now. It always takes me a while to find him. There are so many places he likes to chill in this house, and oh, there he is. Did 5 sessions, taking me to speech level 46. Just 4 more speech levels, and we are done. Should be able to get them without leaving the town. Plan is to buy iron ingots and leather strips to make daggers, and uh-oh. Must have hit level 50 Conjuration. When you hit level 50 in a school of magic, you get a mage challenger randomly turn up expecting to duel. And he won't take no for an answer. So I backed out and summoned Rodney Jr. to throw hands. It was very much going our way. The challenger's health was going down nicely. But nope. Stupid thing has a healing spell. Every time Junior got his health down near death, he would just run off and regen his health. He did it so many times that I just left them to it. Anyway, where was I? Ah, those daggers. Using the daggers and soul gems I've got, we can enchant the daggers to level up enchanting and also sell them for a nice little chunk of gold. Enchanted every dagger I had and went to sell them to the blacksmith. Got a level from that too, so now I can do 5 more training sessions if I can get the gold to do it. Did you kill that mage, Junior? I don't see him anywhere. Neither alive nor dead. Hopefully he's dead. Sold daggers to the blacksmith and had an hour kip to level up. Got 2 levels out of the enchanted session. And finally got the speech skill up to past level 50. And now I can take the merchant perk to sell any item to any trader. Very good perk for getting your hands on more gold. Did take the third haggler perk for better prices and adept conjuration to make adept spells cost half the magicka to cast. I should really get some new spells, if I can. But now we can take those daggers and sell them to the cloves merchant, as well as whoever the heck we want. The big thing here is buying out soul gems from people, and being able to easily get my gold back selling my overpriced potions to court wizards. And that starts the grind for the enchanting and smithing skills. So much easier with that merchant perk. One simple routine that will raise enchanting, smithing, and my gold supply, and all it takes is time. First, I buy out blacksmith's iron and leather to make daggers. Later, I'll also add dwarven ingots to that for dwarven bows, but for now it's just daggers. And buy soul gems from the wizards and general stores, enchant the daggers, and simply sell them back to the wizards and blacksmiths to get all of the gold back and extra gold they already had. It's also a good idea to invest into enchanting while leveling up from the grind, so we get better enchanted items and sell them for more gold as we go. Going all the way around the map, doing what I just did, but in all of the cities. This'll take some time. Markov is up next. I did get dwarven smithing today, so that's something to report. I'll still make daggers, but I'm adding dwarven bows to the short list of items to craft at the forges. I know gold rings is popular too and pretty good for smithing. One thing I'll say about smithing is it seems to lag behind enchanting a lot while I'm grinding things. Luckily, a quick trip to a smithing trainer can help sort that out. I'm adrifting. There's someone named Balamond here we can find. Should easily be able to get 10 levels here for smithing since I'm holding a level up. the first 5, which was nicely priced, and I slept at the inn to spend that level, allowing me for a further 5 training sessions, which was not so nicely priced. Training gets expensive when you pass level 50 in a skill, so now it will cost a small fortune. Luckily, I can trade potions to him to get all of that gold back. Just another day pushing smithing and enchanting. I think today might be the last day I work on this skill for a bit though. Yeah, Riften's been cleaned out, and I think that's it for me. Let's make a half-decent set of gear, and we'll go for Daedric later. Not even hit day 20 yet. We got plenty of time to get the better armors. For now, I'll unlock Orcish Smithing and get a set of Orcish minus the helmet and get that improved and enchanted. Oh, I've got Enchanter up to the 4th invested level too, and also took Insightful Enchanter. Grinding's been doing well. So the way enchanting works in this game is we've got to take something like this ring to an enchanting table and then disenchant it. That'll destroy the item, but unlock the enchantment in the table, so we can add on as many other items as we want. I got the smithing enchant on a necklace, ring, a chest piece, and some gauntlets at 20% each, meaning when I wear those specific items while smithing, I'll get a total of 80% better weapons and armor improving. Whiterun has 3 blacksmiths, and I got barely any of the orc ingots to make the armor I want. I'll check Windhelm. Sure, there's a blacksmith there. Hopefully he's got what I need. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nice! That is like enough ingots. Alright, I made gauntlets, boots, and the chest piece. All heavy armor. Doesn't look comfortable at all, but that's fine. Got my 4 pieces of smithing gear on, and even sipped the potion of smithing I bought earlier to give me 120% better smithing with the enchantments and potion combined. That will make the armor legendary quality, and all that's left to do is to get it enchanted. This is where I hit another roadblock. See, I have the 4 pieces of gear to upgrade, including the necklace, but the only Conjuration enchant I have also has Magicka regen tied into it, which is good. We want that regen, but I can only put that on my chest piece, and I think if I get just Conjuration disenchanted, I can also add it to my necklace. So let's go try to find that enchantment. Windhelm didn't have it. I looked. So we're riding to Riften again instead of taking a carriage, because I'll arrive at night by carriage and I'll get there faster on a horse to trade with merchants. I also know I'm not very efficient with this process. I should make notes of everything I need all at once, but I really don't care. Doing it step by step keeps me sane instead of trying to get a million things at once. I made it, and there we go. A circlet of Conjuration. Get that disenchanted, then take my enchanting potion I bought and pick what I want on everything. I have my loadout for the next while all done. I really need to go to the farm to drop some things off. My inventory is an absolute dumpster fire. This is honestly one of my favorite things to do in this game, is messing with crafting skills. I love the grinding that comes along with it, and I've missed it a lot with the limits I've set on myself in previous videos. Looks like my plants have all grown too. Been a while since I've collected them, so that's nice. Okay, my inventory is looking a lot tidier. Got my smithing gear put away in this chest at the end of my bed, and then a couple random bits of alchemy gear I've got. I just bought this stuff. Didn't make any alchemy gear yet. I should have, but I didn't. And this is what my loadout is gonna look like for the next few weeks in game. Orcish gauntlets with 42 points extra magicka. That's more than 4 levels worth of level attributes, so that's nice. And my backpack has, on top of the carry weight, plus 20 points of magicka. Nordic amulet with conjuration spells costing 21% less to cast. Orcish armor with a smaller 13% conjuration, but with an added bonus of 10% faster magicka regenerating. When I become a vampire, that will come in handy, because vampires don't regenerate magicka during the day, but with that enchant, it will still regen a little no matter what. Didn't have many options for my boots yet, so I just threw on some shock resistance. Then the ring of Namira that lets me eat people to regain health and gives me some stamina. And lastly, the Dragon Priest mask that has the 20% conjuration on it. Not perfect, but I've barely done anything in game, so this is some nice early on gear. I'll make some better stuff later. Threw a level into Juggernaut 2 in the heavy armor tree for a 20% better armor rating. This build, by the way, is going to need a lot of perks. Investing into heavy armor, smithing, enchanting, of course conjuration, alchemy, speech, and I want to go into restoration for that Necromage perk. That's 7 skill trees we're working on. Not really done anything to improve our reach in the Necromancer field besides the reduction to spell cost. I've got Conjuration up a fair bit since the last time I bought spells, so maybe we will have new spells available to us at the College of Winterhold to buy. And I was right. I got 3 new spells bought from the Conjuration Mage. I got this Conjure Skeleton Marksman spell. His arrows weaken foes for 120 seconds, but what's more important is that you need a name. We have Rodney Jr. You can be called Rotney Jr. Then we have Necromancer's Ritual spell. Casting this will have me heal a little health and magicka every time a friendly conjured or reanimated minion dies for 120 seconds. Not sure I'll use that one much, but we'll see. Something I will use a lot is Revenant. Lets me reanimate a more powerful dead body. So this will replace the reanimated corpse spell I've been using. Now we gotta find something to do. I'm not sure what yet, but I want to go through some quests. You know what? Actually, I'm U-turning. Don't tell any gods. Remember, I eat people. That was absolutely a threat. I think since we're here, I'll just do the college's questline. Not that I really want anything out of the questline, but it'll be good to further my conjuration level, if anything. So I went to sit my first class at the college. I think it's funny how there's someone so oddly out of place here. Like 4 people standing here, ready to learn. But this one randomly has some kind of legendary mask he got from slaying a dragon's priest. But okay, let's learn about a crappy ward spell. Anyway, field trip time. Freezing my butt off. Got here way before anyone else. We explored a dungeon, and what started out as a nice outing with my classmates ended in a Draugr-filled nightmare. For the Draugr, not me. I used my ritual stone power to bring back like 50 of them at once. It's great making them fight their own kind. The big thing here was that we found something called the Eye of Magnus, a giant magic ball giving off a lot of energy. We had to go let the college know about our discovery and then tried to find out what we could about the eye. Unlucky for us, the books that might have info about it had recently been stolen. We gotta go get them back. Pull in a night shift. Had a rest in Windhelm, and now it's very early hours, day 23, and I'm in for a bit of a messy day. I'm heading for those books. The person who took them was said to have run off with some, unlike me, not very friendly conjurers at Foulglow Keep. There's 2 mages and an Atronachar. Decided to, while they were busy, run right by to the entrance to the inner area. The mages here sucked. Like, really sucked. The first one was fine. Did have a heal-in spell, like every other jerk in the place, but one apprentice mage wasn't really too bad. The next part had a load of cells that had vampires imprisoned by conjurers. Freeing them will have them temporarily join your side to fight who put them behind bars. Made things, while they were around, a smooth ride. But then, I met Orthorn, who's the knob that took the books from the college. He offers to help get through the place to get the books back. He got locked up after they yoinked the books from him. And sadly, he died. Yep, he's dead, but I made it to the end without him by running past a lot of the crap left between me and the books. Now we have a problem. The books are in this room. The big baddie at the end has to die or be convinced to let me take the books. You can give Orthorn back to her and she will let you take the books and leave. But he went and got himself killed, and I don't think reanimating him will work. I did, however, persuade her to let me take the books by just telling her that there won't be any trouble if she lets me take them. All that speech training is coming in extra handy now. Kinda. See, the door behind her that will lead me to freedom won't open for me. Talk to her too to see if that will trigger the door to unlock, but nope. We'll have to go back the way we came. I could have tried killing her, but I think it would be more trouble than it's worth. I say that, but leaving the way we came was also more trouble than it was worth. All of those mages I ran past earlier are pretty embarrassed it happened, and trying to run placing my skeletons as a distraction was really rough. Used up like all my health potions trying to make it out, but I'm out. Used up all of my health potions getting out, but I made it back to my horse. Better get back to the college. Day 24 was a busy day. I went to return the stolen books to the Arcanium and was given a boatload of books as a reward. We can read these to get a level into all of the magic schools. Should have kept them, at least the enchanted and conjuration books, until I was close to maxing out the skills, but I'm not gonna. One of the books that got stolen was especially interesting to Durnehviir. He gave it a read and was chatting about it, but we got interrupted by this jerk. This is a member of the Psijic Order here who wants to chat with me, so I go see what he wants. These guys are very powerful and generally don't like getting involved in fixing issues like the mess we're about to get ourselves into. Freezes time and warns me that something bad is about to go down. He sends me to find something or someone called Olga of Dunlane. I didn't get a quest marker, but I know he's right under the college in the midden dark. He's very not dark though. In fact, he's blindingly light. I won't put you through it being on screen for long. He says the ball's name is the Eye of Magnus, and the Uncano has been snooping around asking questions like me too. Tells me there's a path that could save the college, and that I need the Staff of Magnus to do so. One of the mages here says there's a synod group that wandered through looking for the staff too, and they inquired about the ruins of Mizolf when passing by. She says they might still even be there. Traveled on over past the Windhelm to Mazolf, but the people that came here are not doing so good. Yapping about a crystal.
Find apparatus. Inoculary.
He's dead. Threw him around for a bit, then remembered I'm a cannibal and should heal up. Ate him and looted his body for the key to progress. There were more bodies on the way though. Sadly, the game had enough of me eating people and crashed. Yeah, some reason, every time I tried to eat this guy, the game dies. I guess he's safe. He might be safe, but I'm not sure I'm safe from the comments on this one. I feel like some people might not like that I'm spawning in skeletons instead of just reanimating enemies to get through the game. If you don't like it, then if you're on desktop, there's a little X at the top right of your screen. And a go f yourself if you're on mobile. The skeletons are feeling not very strong in here at this point in the game anyway. Lots of sitting around, waiting for 5 minutes for him to beat up whatever's in the way. Yeah, as of right now, I'm finding raising what I can around here to be much more helpful than using the skeletons. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but I'm all for it. He looks like he's having a good time. And speaking of time, all of this waiting around this place is taking a ridiculous amount of the stuff. This last area of enemies was one of the more tricky areas. There's about 3 Thalmor, and 1 is a Gloom Lurker. They're pretty aggressive, going in for melee attacks, using their conjured swords, meaning they take aggro mostly with my skeleton. And it also has a healing spell. Stupid thing is healing quicker than the skeleton can do damage because the skeleton is dying quickly while getting triple teamed. I had to pick my spot spawning him in, making sure to spawn him where he could at least get 2 hits on one of the weaker ones before the Gloom Lurker got up in his business. He was getting a good 2 hits in before that could happen. Took down one of the weaker ones, thinning the herd, and now it seems the skeleton can survive long enough to do more damage to the healer than it can heal. They are all dead. The Gloom Lurker had a crystal I needed, so it did have to die. Grabbed it, and now we have another problem. The door ahead is locked. We can find the key down the corridor directly opposite the door, down here. But there's a dwarven centurion between me and the key. Spawned in my skeleton to take his attention from me and legged it to the chest. Grabbed the key and ran back out, leaving the machine and skeleton to fight. But then I noticed the skeleton wasn't doing as bad as I thought it would be. The Centurions also drop a filled Grand Soul Gem, so maybe it's worth taking it down. I used the Ritual Stone power to raise all of the Thalmor in the area along with my summon, and this is the best thing I've seen the whole video. Army of Thalmor, I'll take it. He stands no chance. He's dead, and now we can grab the gem for enchanting later. I'm also getting tired. My screen's going fuzzy, so I better move. There was an alive Synod member left who had set up some sleeping bags too. Perfect. Rested up, taking health for the attribute, and let's get moving. See, that focusing crystal I just got from the Thalmor can be used in this room to direct the light into a map. The map reveals 2 locations. One is the College of Winterhold, where the Eye of Magnus is located. The other is Labyrinthian, where we would assume the staff connected to the eye will be rested. Time to leave and report back to the college. Just got a 5-minute ride on my horse and we'll be there in no time. There's trouble at the college too. Ancano has somehow locked himself in with the eye and is doing something with it. Trying to harness his power or something. The mages blast through the barrier and then confronting Ancano, he turns up the brightness of the game to the max and kills the Archmage. Yep, he's dead. It's that time of the video again. Come on. There we go. The only way to stop Ancano is to get the staff. But first, Winterhold's under attack by some magic anomalies. This will take a while with the build to clear them out. Got 10 of the suckers to take down. This really did take a long time. Since they run off when their health gets low, they all kind of die at the same time. At least with this style of play. Now that they're all dead, the next goal is the staff. I wanted to check the Conjuration mage's inventory to see if I could get something better than my skeletons, but he was straight up refusing to talk to me with all of the drama going on at the college. Thought it was because apparently there was some of these magic anomalies still popping up, but I cleared them all out for real this time and nobody here will talk to me like at all. So I left, but not for the staff. I'm spending a day doing some shopping around towns, buying food of all things, and I'll probably hit my farm for potions too. Yes, I do eat people, and that does keep me fed some of the time, but it's not always working out. I have a corpse in front of me when I get hungry. So I'm gonna need some normal people food in my backpack for tough times when cannibalism can't be practiced. Alright, I'm ready. Hopefully. I've got potions and food, but I'm not sure I'm strong enough to take on Labyrinthian yet. I guess we'll find out. I'm climbing the mountain in a way that will take me right to the entrance of the place because there's a lot of frost trolls here I'd like to avoid to save time because we're already going to be here for a pretty long time, just like basically every other location I've had to go to so far. Simply because I'm sat waiting for my skeleton minions and corpses to kill whatever's in the way, like these other skeletons. The game wants you to go in there and get trapped with them and a skeleton dragon of all things, but you can kind of cheese them at the gate. The dragon at some point did heal randomly, so I just ran past it, however. I did not see the light of day today. Started the day around 1 a.m. arriving here, and by the time I leave later, it's been over 24 hours in-game. I seriously have to figure out a way to do more damage. Labyrinthian has a silly amount of enemies, ranging from easy-to-kill skeletons to pain-in-the-neck spectral Draugr deathlords that I thought were never gonna die. To be fair, they didn't. I did run past them because they were out healing the damage the skeletons could do. Made it to the end room, where I again was doubting our chances of progression. Now we have to fight a Dragon's Priest, carrying the Staff of Magnus. I'd killed the Dragon's Priest before to get my current mask, but still wasn't sure how it would go. Had to fight the two enthralled wizards, charging up whatever they're charging around him, and then when it came to the priest, he just didn't fight back in any way whatsoever. I'm not gonna complain. It's still gonna take a long time to kill him with how much damage the archer is doing. That was a complaint, wasn't it? Rodney Jr. backed him into the corner and wailed on him with his axe until he killed the priest. Got the Staff of Magnus as well as his mask, which is a pretty good mask. Makes magicka regenerate 100% faster, but it's a light armor piece and I prefer mine with the Conjuration enchant on it. On my way out of the place, I got confronted by this Thalmor jerk. Easier to intercept and take the staff, but I had other plans. You're supposed to fight him, but I made a run for it the second I backed out of the conversation, leaving him to be distracted by my son. Now to avoid the trolls and Labyrinthian, get back to my horse. Scaled around the side awkwardly and back to the entrance where I left him. We're off. And again, I'm not sure how the next part is gonna go. Now when we make it back to the college, we'll have to fight Ancano, and it might be too hard with just a couple skeletons. Made it back, and now there's a massive force field around the college, blocking our way. I can use the staff to break the shield and take the fight to the power-hungry Thalmor. This fight is interesting. The way the fight goes, Ancano has paralyzed Durnehviir, and would do the same to any companions you bring. Then he becomes invincible, at least until you use the staff to calm down the Eye of Magnus. Now we can do damage to him until he goes to screw of the ball again. We just have to rinse and repeat, closing the bowl and doing damage to him right after. But I had a lot of help. Not only did I have my Necromancer skeleton, but the magic anomalies spawning in the room here were fighting Ancano. And I had two mages come into the hole to fight with me. I can't remember if I've ever had other mages help here. I might have, but it's a welcome surprise either way. He died very quickly, and now all that's left to do is deal with the magic anomalies that are not happy in the slightest. Oh wait. The Conjuration mage reanimated Ancano. Why didn't I think of that? This took a ridiculous amount of time clearing them out, by the way. It got to the point where I thought it wasn't doable with the skeletons I had and help from the mages because there's so many of them. When they get low on health, they run away to heal. They don't have any healing powers like spells, but they heal like the last 10% of their health back is all. That's still enough to be extremely annoying. There's so many of them that they just swap out aggro while they heal and we're not getting anywhere. It seemed easier earlier protecting the town, but I do have a trick up my sleeve. And honestly, I'm not sure how to explain it well. See, damage in Skyrim continues to a point when you pass through, for example, doors to go back outside. So the skeleton and mages in there were doing damage to them anomalies. And me going through the door outside means they're not really loaded properly, but the game still tries to calculate the damage that was being done to give the effect that the fight still went on while you were gone. But it doesn't calculate that little bit of healing the anomalies were doing. So there was 5 of them. Now there is 4 of them going back inside. Leaving and sitting around for a good few seconds, then going back in again, and now there is only 2. It's a little bit cheaty, but come on, who cares? They're all dead now, and the Archmage's robes and quarters are mine. That is the storyline done. Not that I really wanted those rewards. I'll loot the quarters for the potion ingredients and the soul gems though. Our skeletons are starting to feel not so great. So I power leveled Conjuration through training. Took the Dark Souls perk to let my reanimations have 100 more health and got my Conjuration up to level 73. He sadly doesn't have new spells for me that fit my build, but I got a feeling when I hit Conjuration level 75 and get access to expert spells in the school, there'll be some sort of upgrade there for me. Just need to either grind the skill naturally or level up and get access to the next 5 training sessions from the trainer. Just traveled to Riverwood and rested up at the inn because I'm heading for Bleak Falls once again. The way I'm gonna get my level up for more training sessions is going in here and hopefully finding some Draugr to blast with turn lesser undead to raise restoration to help me eventually get the Necromage perk and get that level I'm after. The enemies in here are still dead from my first run though, but I'm hoping I left a Draugr or 2 resting. And I did. Thing is, I have not a lot of magicka you might find surprising by this point. I'm holding out for getting enchantments on gear to lower the cost of spells and then just bulking up my health pool with the attribute points. So I can't cast this spell very much before having to hide and regen away from them. I could think of easier ways to get a level. I won't, but I could. That took way longer than it should have, but I'm back in Winterhold, ready for an upgrade or 2. I got restoration only to level 31. It was rough, okay? I did just 2 training sessions with the Conjuration Mage since the jerk's just an expert trainer, meaning that's as far as he can take me. But that's fine because at least I can get the expert Conjuration perk to make expert spells cost less magicka. I don't have any of those yet, but he should have some for sale now. Ooh, Conjure Skeleton Champion. Summons a Skeleton Champion that gains plus 10 attack damage for each nearby enemy, up to 5 for 120 seconds. Also got Dread Zombie, which is just Revenant, but lets me reanimate even more powerful dead. The Skeleton Champion will hopefully be nice. Proud of Rodney Jr. They really do grow up so fast. Alright, I picked up the start quest of the Dawnguard DLC from hearing a guard chat about vampire hunters. There's a few things I'd love from the DLC for the build. One, being a vampire will be great paired with the Necromage perk. I know I could become a vampire by other means, but while doing the quest line, I'll also get Serana as a friend who is also a Necromancer. So we'll have even more undead to help through the game while she's raising dead around me. Lastly, Durnehviir, the zombie dragon you can get near the end of the storyline. Yeah, you get a shout after defeating him to call him to aid in battle temporarily. To start the questline, I need to go to Riften. Not into Riften directly, but instead behind Riften to find this pass in the mountains to take us through to where Fort Dawnguard hides. To become a vampire lord and get all of the things mentioned, we first need to join their vampire hunter counterpart, whose main headquarters is in this fort. Well, I say main headquarters, but there's not much here yet. They're just starting back up. Ysran, their leader, puts me straight to work and wants me to go check out Dim Hollow Crypt to see why vampires have been poking around there. On my way to Riften to take the carriage, I did get to see Rodney Jr. in action, who is now a skeleton champion, I might add. And yeah, it does really seem like an upgrade. I arrived pretty battered, stumbling over to the inn to sleep because I can't see for crap, being tired and hungry. I rented a room and got possibly the least ideal wake-up experience of my life, with items moving in the room and this guy just appearing out of nowhere doing God knows what.
There ain't much to offer, but if you want a place dry to spend the night, I'll rent you a room.
I'm good, lady. Today's gonna be a long day. It involves me starting out as a vampire hunter, killing vampires, becoming a vampire myself, finding an Elder Scroll, and meeting a very important vampire family and getting adopted by them. Yeah, not in that order, even in the slightest. Made it to Dim Hollow and went on in. I wasn't sure what to expect, but kinda hoped the new skeleton could deal with whatever this place has to throw at me. Making sure to reanimate things as I go when I can, but the reanimations weren't doing much, making me rely on Rodney Jr. once again. The vampires have a spell called Vampiric Drain. It sucks, honestly, to use it yourself. It's not that great, but when they use it, it's very frustrating because it's essentially a lifesteal spell that if I was still using my other skeletons, I'm pretty sure I'd not be able to get through here because of it. The champion can do more damage than they can heal, which is great. This place was riddled with vampires. Like I said, it was a long day and most of it was spent in here. But cut into the most important area, which is this big room. I have to kill 2 vampires and a thrall. I spawned my skeleton and ran between the areas where I thought I'd be able to raise some dead people at, but sadly only managed to get 1 measly skeleton with the ritual stone power. The Mistwalker is 100% out healing the damage I can do with even the champion. Maybe if I sat around long enough, he would get lucky and get enough shots in between Vampiric Drain, but it felt like I was getting nowhere with this enemy. So I reloaded the last save to get my Ritual Stone power back and tried something totally unrelated to that by spawning my skeleton to keep them distracted way up here by where you enter the location, so I can run past down to the middle of the room to activate the monolith by getting my hand messed up on it. Then, push the braziers around to complete the simple puzzle lower in the ground, allowing me to release none other than Serana the vampire. First thing she saw wasn't a funny looking necromancer, but instead a group of her own kind, so naturally she instantly took my side to help kill them. Now we have Serana, her potentially reanimated friend, and my skeleton champion to easily wipe the floor with the vampires in the room. Serana wants help getting back to her family castle. She also has an Elder Scroll, by the way. We aren't done here yet though. Lots of enemies between us and the exit, but we did make it out nice and safely. Cutting out the journey up behind Solitude to where her family's castle is located, Serana says she's gonna go her own way for a while after all is said and done in here. That's fine. When we get the chance, I'll take her as a companion. Her dad was happy to see her, but more happy to see she still has the Elder Scroll in her possession and offers me a gift to become a vampire lord. He shows off the powers I'd get, and I accept it. He gives a brief lesson on how to use the new powers, but honestly, I won't be using the Vampire Lord form in this playthrough. Just wanted to become a vampire. Now I'm given a job to fill an important chalice with blood from the Redwater Springs over by Riften. The chalice can offer some nice rewards to a vampire. It makes their Vampiric Drain spell slightly better. Won't help me, but we need to do it to progress the story. I do take the carriage often, by the way. I mention it like every video. Some people might not like it, but I love the idea of having to get to these and pay to travel around. It's not disabled in survival mode, so I'm gonna use it. I had to rest at Riften before leaving for Redwater, but to explain Redwater, it's basically a skooma den, but not really. Vampires are luring people there to get skooma, but really it's an operation to farm thralls to feed on. I'm to get through to the end of the place because that's where Redwater Spring is. The vampires here aren't a part of my group, and they really aren't going to be very happy with me busting through the place.
Don't like those eyes you got. There's a bad hunger to them.
Oh yeah, I forgot to show off my new eyes. I know there's probably a mod for it, but I wish there was a hide helmet option. Been a while since I've seen my own face. Bought some skooma to take and found a stall. Got high as a kite and found myself in a cage with plans to be one of the vampire's thralls. Joke's on them, I'm gonna eat every last one of them. And not like a vampire would. Make my way out and raise the Rodney Jr. to start causing havoc. There is a lot of enemies in here at any one time, which means the champion is extra beefy throughout the place. Kept my promise, eating them as I went. Had to fight death hounds, thralls, and master vampire. That trap always gets me every single. It looked like it was on purpose, but I swear, where was I stepping on? And I gotta say, this room was the hardest. There seemed to be like no progress with all of the healing going on. I used that trapped passage to my advantage, leading them there to get smacked around. It worked great. And then I raised up what I could too. Only 2 survived getting back past the traps for the last fight. See, I'm filling the chalice of the springs for the vampires, but 2 of them from the family turn up looking to take the glory. They want to kill me and bring the chalice back themselves. The friendly now reanimations helped Rodney Jr. pick away at the traitors pretty easily. Got them killed. Now just to return to Riften to take the carriage up to Solitude, the closest place to the castle I can travel to. I have to rest up and eat while I'm here because my vision's getting off being sleepy, and I'm hungry. Checked in on the merchants in town after that while I was here, but I didn't find anything I wanted really. Alright, onwards. Traveling over to the vampires to report my success. Handed over the chalice and was told they suspected I'd be followed by some vampires. Could have warned me. Chalice is returned, and Harkon gives a speech revealing his plans to have the vampires no longer fear the sun by pursuing a prophecy he'd stumbled on. He wants us to figure out what the Elder Scroll says on Serana's back. To do that, we'll need to find a moth priest. To all go talk to carriage drivers, innkeepers, and anyone that might have talked to travelers in hopes of finding one that can read the scroll. Oh, I got heavy armor to level 20 naturally too, which means I can take the second Juggernaut perk to have heavy armor, have an even better armor rating. Taking a bit of a break from the vampire questline here today. First, I'm collecting up my potion ingredients, and then after I've done this, I think I want to go join the companions. Not really planning on doing the quest, so I'll skip along to where I want to be. I just did the little tested my arm part and got shown to my sleeping quarters so I can get access to the companion's vast amounts of trainers. There is a lot of them here, but I'm mostly interested in Farkas's heavy armor and Yerlin's smithing training. Did a few heavy armor sessions and went to sleep to level up. Now I could do another 5 sessions. The heavy armor was the main thing I wanted here. Having access to Yerlin's smithing training is nice because he's in a more convenient location than the Riften trainer, with this being smack in the middle of the map. Can't get any more perks for heavy armor with those levels I just got, sadly, but we're on our way. Our armor rating currently sits at 231, which isn't bad. Head with my pretty beefy health pool, things are looking good. I know we rely on friendlies taking hits and doing damage most of the time, but I won't complain about dodging a death with my heavy build tanking stray shots. Okay, I've got a load of optional objectives to help me discover a moth priest. He's chilling around Dragon's Bridge though, so let's just go there. Coming up on a carriage that's been attacked past the bridge. Following a blood trail to a cave, and this is where you'll find them. There are a lot of Dawnguard in here. The vampire hunters are after the priest too. Serana decided to come along with us. She'll be our follower for the rest of the video. Lots of people, huskies and trolls, trying to block our way, but it's no trouble. Killed a few and used the ritual stone power to storm through. There's just 2 more Dawnguard up here to kill. Taking these suckers out, I can go up to this dead guy, who tastes great, by the way, but also has this egg. We can take the egg over to this thing to use it to release the somehow trapped moth priest. He's not so happy to see vampires try to use him though, and a fight breaks out. He does have a healing spell. Hopefully, that's not an issue. It looks like it won't be. Yep, it wasn't. We weren't trying to kill the priest, just get his health down enough that he'll be too screwed to resist the vampire seduction and bite, turning him into my thrall. Now he will listen to me pretty good. I'm sending him back to the castle where Lord Harkin is. When we made it, he reads the scroll happily and mentions Auriel's bow being a big part of the prophecy, but also says we're gonna need 2 more scrolls to get anywhere here. One is the scroll from the main quest line. We'll get that later. But the other scroll Serana thinks might be with her mother. She's in hiding from her father because, spoilers, Serana's blood is the key to the prophecy, and she fled with the scroll to keep her safe. We, while chatting, come to the conclusion that she might very much still be in the castle hiding. There's a courtyard her father hates in the castle because it's too peaceful. She thinks because he wouldn't go there that she's hiding there somehow. To get to it, we need to go to the abandoned inlet to the side of the castle used to get supplies here previously. Crap just got real. Speaking of crap, beat the crap out of Harkin with a bloodied plate before leaving to find his ex. I do have a very little bit of magicka missing. It's not much, but it's a long journey ahead of us, and that will now start dropping quick, so I want to rest for an hour. Found the coffins. Perfect. Rested up, and I'm off. I'm also pretty excited because today I'm getting my hands on the zombie dragon Durnehviir, hopefully. Went around to the abandoned inlet, and we have a fight on our hands. Well, my champion and Serana do. Some skeletons are still lingering. Oh, wow, that guy got sent flying. Moving on inside, there's even some feral vampires to take down, and there's honestly a lot of enemies in the way of us and finding Serana's mom. Faded through to the mentioned courtyard. There's some crests missing from this centerpiece. And finding all 3 of them will reveal a secret passage. There's one over here, one in the water to the side, and one up the stairs over here on the ground. Return them all back to where they go on here, and a staircase is revealed to us. There is a lot more enemies to put up with ahead. Most of them were easy, but there was a gargoyle brute that I got a little worried about. It took a silly amount of time to kill, but we're doing a little more damage than it could heal. And after about 5 minutes, it's dead. And I'm for sure reanimating it. He's gonna help with the rest of these skeletons. This is one of the only times I've been through here without Serana glitching out, getting stuck, so that's nice. We made it to her mom's Necromancer setup, where we ended up opening a portal to the Soul Cairn. Some people called me out on saying that terribly, and I'm very self-conscious about it. I'm joking. I could not care less. Maybe. This is where souls that get trapped in soul gems go, and it's actually a pretty big place we get to explore. Most of the enemies here are called bone men, and they're kinda weak. Serana's mum's name is Valerica, and she's chilling at that castle-looking thing up there. She explains the prophecy some more, revealing Serana being the key to it, and is a little hesitant on giving us the scroll, but does agree to give it to us in the end. But first, we have to get past the magical barrier between us and her mom. To do that, we have to kill 3 keepers scattered around the plane. Keepers are these giant things. Sadly, my champion barely gets a quarter of its health down before he needs to be resummoned. But we'll get there in the end. Down it goes. On to the second. Despite being covered in dragonbone armor, I'm not able to loot any of it. It's fine. Second one's dead. Bird one's in a tower floating above the ground, and it gave me some issues. Not so much the keeper that was the issue, but all of the enemies that chased me into the teleporter that absolutely battered the crap out of me. My champion, some reason, wasn't spawning in when I was trying, and I had all of the aggro. There's also a mount you can get here, which, like Durnehviir, would be perfect for my build. At this area, you find some spirit-looking things that turn to bone men. Killing the bone men, you can collect Odahviing's skull over here and return it to this spirit looking for his horse friend. Instead of taking him back, he allows Odahviing to stay with me. You can summon him at any point and ride him around. I think he'll be my new main mount. But there's a third keeper I need to slay. Ran on over to the tower, this time having no trouble with the locals, and went on up to knock his butt off the side of the building. He normally dies when you do that, but I guess he got lucky and landed on a ledge. No bother, we'll track him down and get him killed. That's all 3 dead, and the barrier they were keeping up now down. We're off to get the Elder Scroll she's been keeping hidden, but first we have Durnehviir to battle. Wanders the Soul Cairn, and without a doubt would have investigated what's going on. The dragon has never been beaten in battle, and well, looks like he's been in many. Despite that being said in the game, I've never really had issues fighting him. This time around it was taking longer to kill him than normal. In the destruction video, we drained his health suspiciously quick, but this fight, we're doing hardly any damage to him. He summons bone men throughout the fight too, which is fine, because my champion will do more damage with more enemies around. Trying to get him to focus on the dragon and leave the bone men alive for as long as possible for that reason. After about 10 minutes of fighting, he is dead. Or so I thought. Mom says she thinks the final blow merely displaced his physical form, giving him a chance to reconstitute himself. Grab the Elder Scroll, and sadly Mom can't come with us because she's trapped here. But one thing that can come with us, besides the Elder Scroll, is this guy. He sat waiting outside the castle and wants to chat. He seems to enjoy our fight and asks a favor. A favor to call his name from Tamriel so he can come aid me in battle. This is something I've barely done, if I'm being honest with you, and I'm kind of excited to give him a try and use him consistently. There is a problem. I seem to have 0 dragon souls, and there's 3 words to unlock to the shout he gave me. I've clearly been a bad dragonborn. Guess we better get on that. We should probably exit this place first, though. Hopping on Odahviing and ride in for the portal. Ran through here, and we have a few things I want to do now. Obviously, there's the dragon hunting to summon Durnehviir. And I think I also want to get the Necromage perk now to have being a vampire actually benefit us. Right now, there's a lot of negatives and not much of anything else. After selling stuff and running around doing odd bits, I didn't get to my first dragon soul until the next day. And this one was a little rough. It just straight up would not land at all. The damage was being done by ranged attacks from the guards and people around Solitude. Looking back, I should have spawned my skeleton archer, but I just waited for him to land to use the champion. There's even a spider up there trying to have a go at him. He did eventually land, but when his health was low enough that he would be permanently grounded anyway. Rodney Jr. and the crap ton of gods ate away at the rest of his health bar, and I got my first soul out of 3 needed. Taking a carriage to Whiterun because I seen one behind the town on the way to one of the bandit camps earlier. Can't see it now. That's unfortunate, but there are guaranteed dragons scattered around the map, guarding words of power. One is just over here on a mountain near Windhelm. Let's go get that one. Yeah, there is the second one. This one was also a bit of a pain, but for a different reason. Everyone couldn't mind their own business, and we got interrupted by every enemy under the night sky. Wolves first, then the stupid Dawnguard show up, and even had a giant come to see what was going on. As far as dragons go, it's the easiest kind to kill too, so it should have been a quick one, but with all of the distractions coming in, it made it take a lot longer than I would have liked. It's dead, and I can suck up the second soul. I didn't go to the Word of Power for this one, but there's another word wall around here behind Riften, I believe. But on my way over, I was awkwardly horsing my way up a mountain and noticed there was a dragon marker on my map closer than the one I had marked. This one, however, is not the easiest kind of dragon. It's a blood dragon, and I'm probably gonna be here for a long time. There are small, ruined houses I can hide in while Serana and the champion deal with it, so that's nice. Got my feet up and waited for everyone else to do all of the work. It's dead, and that is 3 dragon souls collected. Unlock the curse, never, and dying words to the shout, and now we can summon Durnehviir. He acts just like the skeletons do when summoning him. He sadly replaces Rodney Jr. when we do it, but this is pretty awesome. Not ideal to use in all situations, but I will be taking advantage of this guy a lot. I will get to actually using him in battle, but next on the agenda is the Necromage Perk. Spending a bit of time grinding out enchanting and smithing while I'm at it, not to get a new main set of armor, because I think I'm fine with what I've got for now, but I need a way to make restoration spells easier to cast to level the tree. So I'm getting some gear enchanted with restoration to let me do just that. Enchanting is really all I need, but I don't want smithing to get too far behind, so we'll do both. Got the 5th enchanter perk today, which is great, but I think I might as well do one more day of this while I'm in the mood. Hit the farm the next day and run around collecting mud crab souls for my gems around the rivers near Whiterun. Then went into the town and grinded once more. It's nice having Yurland here for training. Again, he's right in the middle of the map, and he's not as awkward to get to as Riften's trainer. There was a lot of progress over the last 2 days. Even did some heavy armor training. I took well fitted in the tree to make me have a 25% armor bonus if wearing a full set of heavy armor. Smithing is up to level 90. That's the highest trainers can take us, and I think I'm good with this tree now, to be honest. I'll take Ebony Smithing and Daedric Smithing, ready for later. Enchanting is up to level 86. Need that to be level 100 eventually, but that's good for the restoration gear. I'm just about ready to enchant some gear. I got everything that could have restoration on it, but I hit a roadblock. Just like earlier with the Conjuration enchanting, I have Fortify Restoration and Magicka Regen. Not just Fortify Restoration, so the enchant will be slightly watered down and not as powerful of a restoration enchant if we take that. Checked Farengar, he doesn't have what we need. It's late now, so I need to wake the town back up. Luckily, we have a free bed in Yarvaska after joining the companions. There we go. Adriana, maybe? Nope. Nothing here. Warbad doesn't have anything either. Nor did the elf and the drunken huntsman. Belethor, come on. Don't let me down. He let me down. What a jerk. Checked everyone, but no luck here. Hopped on Arvek, and we'll have to check elsewhere. Easy to check Riverwood, just up the road. Didn't have anything though. Falkreef's not far either, so let's go see what they got. What they got is not what I need. There's only one place my shiny bald head can get my hands on one for sure.
I can't believe we let provincials like you wander Skyrim.
Bald people? What? I look great. That place is Solitude's Radiant Raiment, the clove shop, and they have a lot of nevermind. They don't have what I want. Great. Checked every trader here. I won't show you everywhere I checked, but there is a restoration mage at the College of Winterhold, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, she only has the enchant we already have. It has the Magicka Regeneration tied to it. That was another trip across the map, by the way. Getting whiplash here. I was losing hope, but still in Winterhold, just not in the college. Burner at the general store has a ring of eminent restoration for 1,354 gold. I'll take that, and I guess we can do some enchanting here then. Sipped on a potion of enchanting I bought to make enchants better for 60 seconds and spammed some restoration on random heavy armor I purchased. This all gives a reduction to cost of restoration spells by 104%, meaning I can cast them infinitely without worrying my magicka pool will run dry. We also look pretty cool too with this armor. Besides grinding the skill, I won't be using this armor like at all, but I'll look good for the next couple of days at least. Let's go find some Draugr. The only place in all of Skyrim with those things is Bleak Falls. It's not, but I want to grind there, okay? The enemies have now all respawned, so this should be easy enough. Leaving Serana by the door so she doesn't go killing things I don't want killed. The bandits can go. Don't need these guys around. The spider can die too. Get it killed with my champion. Now to just, yeah, there he goes. Had to wait for Rodney Jr. to get lost so I can use my restoration on the undead. I think this is totally fine, by the way. It's a Necromancer video, but we're still kind of messing with the undead here. Controlling them, so it's okay. As a recap, the spell makes lower level undead flee for a bit. Crap. Game crashed. Game clearly didn't like my restoration abuse. Looking back, I didn't need to get my restoration to level 50 for the next part, but I got to level 50 thinking I could now get a better version of the spell to level up quicker. Turns out it was level 40 is when the spell becomes available for purchase. Hi, Serana. Bye, Serana. I left and headed for Whiterun, thinking I could buy the better spell from Farengar the Court Wizard, but I was wrong. He doesn't have it. So much in the game, I'm always forgetting things. I think we get it from the college. So I ran on over. Ran over, talked to the restoration mage, and got Repel Lesser Undead. The old spell lets me hit one enemy, and this one does a wave that goes through targets, allowing me to hit multiple Draugr. So long trip short, I'm back with 5 in one room, all getting hit at the same time, and the restoration skill is blowing up. Actually went over Forgot it was level 70 we needed, but I thought it was level 75 for the Necromage perk. Okay, come on, Serana. Back to Whiterun for the millionth time. She's wearing a helmet I bought that has an alchemy enchant on it, by the way, if you're curious. Going to Whiterun to sleep and spend my levels. Took Novice Restoration and Regeneration. Those perks won't really help me at all, but I needed it for Necromage, which I can't get yet. Need one more level. Did 5 training sessions with Farkas to get heavy armor up a bit more, and that will take us up just about to the level up we need. Took Necromage. Makes all spells be more effective against undead. It doesn't explain it, but it also gives a buff to all spells if you too are undead. And I am undead. I'm a vampire. So now all my spells, like raising the dead and spawning my skeletons, they will now stay reanimated for longer in general, I believe. Gotta get my main set back on. Right. This is great. We're a vampire. We have Necromage, Serana as a follower, and Durnehviir, the zombie dragon, by my side when I need him. Let's go press on with the Dawnguard DLC. We last got Serana's mum's scroll, so that's 2 out of 3 needed. The third one is the scroll you get from the main questline. So we're jumping ahead of the Alduin storyline, going right for that scroll. We'll use it later to get Dragonrend, and it'll actually save me an extra walk up and down the 7,000 steps. I can't go right to the Elder Scroll, sadly. I have to go get a lexicon. The quest objective points you to the College of Winterhold's Arcanium. You can get books here about the Elder Scroll. Wait, Conjure Skeleton Warlock? This is new. Oh, nice. I wasn't expected to get a new spell today. But ultimately, a conversation between me and the orc brought me behind the town to the Icefields to this outpost where I met a man called Septimus Cygnus, who is a big Elder Scrolls fan. He'll help me get the scroll by giving me a lexicon to take to Blackreach, where the scroll is apparently located. We need to bring the lexicon back after we've used it to access the scroll. He doesn't know, but I'm not coming back. You can find Blackreach not too terribly far from Winterhold in some Draugr ruins called God knows. Excited to try out my new Warlock as well as Durnehviir here. Combined with my Necromage perk, this should be a lot of fun. And it was! The Warlock uses lightning spells, a combination of Lightning Bolt, Sparks, and Lightning Cloak, so enemies take damage just standing by it too. Get into the area that starts to have a lot of Thalmor though, which is fine. Just gonna slow us down a little, taking longer to kill them. One thing that's cool about Durnehviir, the zombie dragon, is that we can raise him inside areas like here if there's enough room for him to fit. I'm beaten and battered, but it's okay because I've got a dragon watching my back. It's not even just him. Just like when I fought him earlier, he can raise his own bone men to help fight still. The only problem is the cooldown. It's a shout, and we have to wait for the blue to fade to be able to shout again. This shout has a pretty long cooldown period too, so we can't rely on just him to do damage. Ran through avoiding the Dwarven Centurion and made it to Blackreach. It's really pretty in here, but I'm getting tired and hungry. I'm running out of food, and there's no good corpses to eat, so I can't stop for too long. Went right through the giant mushroom cave and into the elevator on the other side. Took it to where we can get the Elder Scroll. Using Septimus's lexicon, we can transcribe it here with this machine. Doing that, we'll charge it up so we can take it back to him and grab the Elder Scroll over here. I'm not returning to Septimus. I'm good for now. Now to bring the other scrolls back to Dexian, our Thrall, so he can read them. Or not. He's blind. He didn't take the proper precautions before reading the first Elder Scroll and has paid the price. He offers a solution. I could take the proper precautions and read the Elder Scroll. We just have to attract some ancestral moths at a glade here in Skyrim to grant me the second sight to read the scrolls. So I'm off. Off to, ooh, food. For some reason, there's a dead Dawnguard member in here. Speaking of food, I need to get some normal food just in case I can't find anyone to eat. Off to Solitude, just up the road. 23 seared slaughterfish. I've never seen a fatter stack of food in my life. Gotta shop here more often. The glade's near Falkreath, so I'll treat myself to a carriage over there. Uh-oh, that might have been a mistake. There's a dragon here, and it looks like an elder dragon. Yep, he's a... Oh my god, this is a bloodbath. Hopefully that guy wasn't important. Luckily, there's a lot of people out late, and most of us should survive the ordeal. And we did. 1 life lost isn't bad. He's dead, and we can move on. The glade is very close to Falkreath, like I said. Just up the mountain here is a cave. Going into it, it's surprisingly beautiful. All we gotta do is take this draw knife, scratch some bark from this tree. Just like women with pumpkin spice, the moths go crazy for that crap and will follow me around. Getting enough of them attracted to me will make me glow like the sun, and standing in this beam of light will allow me to read the scroll perfectly fine. It revealed the location of Auriel's bow. The bow is what's needed to block out the sun and allow vampires to not fear the sun, using the sun-hauled arrows we get with the help of Serana's blood. Stupid Dawnguard is blocking the way out. cleared enough of them to be able to just run past. There's a cave we have to go through to get the Auriel's bow up near Solitude's dragon bridge. Taking a carriage back to that side of the map and resting up before heading for it. It's a long trip, and I want all of my magicka back before doing it. Passing by Dragon's Bridge now. I gotta say, I'm loving Arvek. My horse I purchased, however, I haven't seen him since I hopped on Arvek for the first time. He might be dead. I'm not sure. I'm glad I rested up because, like I said, this place is an adventure, and by the end of it, I'm sure to be exhausted again. Going into the cave, we're gonna jump down here into a massively strong section of flowing water. Spot some spiders getting caught up in the water too. Bad timing. But it's fine because I used them to my advantage, killing and raising them up to fight their own kind. Found a snow elf who wants his brother dead. Bit random, but saying I'll help him. He'll help me get through this way shrine and eventually to the bow, which is actually with his brother he once killed. His brother's not a very nice person anymore, and I guess he deserves to die for it. I won't just kill him, my friend, but I'll eat the evidence for you too if you want. To get to him, we have to go through a symbolic ritual drawing water from the basins all around the area at the other way shrines, like this one. Took me through caves, frozen tundras, and Thalmor-infested mountains. But after about 45 minutes of exploring, I made it to the last one. Now over to this gigantic temple to empty the water into here and get through the door ahead, to where we can find his brother behind an icy wall. He's not happy to see me, and I can't say I'm happy to see his stupid face either. And I can't say I've used Durnehviir in here before, but it's pretty cool getting to do it. This might be my new favorite shout in general. Used him to defeat the first wave of enemies, but the second wave overwhelmed him, leaving me to use my champion or warlock for a while. I gotta say, this cold is stressing me out. By the time I got to summoning the zombie dragon again, my health is taking a beating. The darker red is the cold, limiting my light red health bar. If we get all of the light red gone, then I'm as frozen as the Thalmor were earlier, and I'm a dead man. We got the last of the defrosted chickens killed, and now the snow elf's brother uses his powers to drop the building down on our heads. We're alive? Just about. Serana gives some words of encouragement, and we're on the chase. He's hurt and cornered. He's also being manhandled by Serana. But he breaks free, and I was a little worried about this fight to start out. See, he's healing, and healing good. But after a bit, he did start to use Vampiric Drain less. Now we just have a straight-up restoration spell to deal with. Every time he gets low on health, it just comes right back. I thought switching to my Warlock would be good since it uses lightning, and that normally drains enemies' magicka pools. Wasn't 100% sure it would do it with a summon, but he just stood there like a moron taking it. Yep, didn't move at all until his health was nearly gone, and then he tried to make a run for it. We got him, but he tried. I'm shattered, cold, and hungry. I can sort the hungry issue right now. Ate his brother just like I promised. Now, after talking to the snow elf who just turned up, we can get access to Auriel's bow. Serana says we should take her dad out. We'll need the bow to defeat him, by the way. Let's take the portal back to the cave we went through to start this journey. Ooh, a sleeping bag. We can rest up here, and that's all of my health problems sorted. I think Harkon can wait till tomorrow to die. Pretty sure he won't complain. Collected my ingredients to make some potions, and I'll trade around towns for the rest of the day. You know what? Harkon can wait another day. I'm getting married. Yep. Today could be my last day alive. If we're taking on the Vampire Lord, it won't be, but I know what you're thinking. Who? The woman that introduced me to cannibalism. Who else? But first, we need a home. The farm is a home, but it's really glitchy with families. Last time I tried to have a family at the farm, they just wouldn't go there and disappeared from the game. So, waking up the Jarl Steward in Whiterun, I'm buying Bree's home for 5,000 gold. This is a really small home, and it's a dump. It's not looking so good, but we can decorate it. Talking to the steward again, we can... What are you doing? He's... Okay, we'll get him back up, but I can't see the options to decorate. Is that not how you do it? I forget. Went to rest in my new home just in case he has to be on duty to have options to purchase house upgrades. So I'll check in the morning. Yep, that worked. Bought all of the room decorations, and now we have a very nice little home. Wise Lydia, get out of my room. Get out. All right, before I ask the cannibal to be my wife, we need an amulet of Mara. We can buy one in Riften, so let's go take the carriage over there. I made it, and normally when you first get here, the priest is ranting at the Bee and Bard, but since I've already been here, he's nowhere to be seen in this place. He'll instead be at the Temple of Mara, and talking to him, for 200 gold, he'll give us the amulet we need. Wearing this bad boy will let people know we are interested in them, and they will let us know if they're interested in us too. Since we're good friends with a cannibal, we should...
Next time, you might want to get dressed before leaving the house.
Does my body offend you? You knob. Let's go get married. I'm not really sure where the cannibal would be now. Markov is a good place to start looking. Are you serious? The Dawnguard turned up. I'm literally about to kill Lord Harken. We're back on the same team. I'll have to find her after I've slept. You know, I think sometimes what survival mode actually adds to these videos, because realistically, all you see is me saying I need to sleep about 50 times a video. I've slept, and now I want to check the Hall of the Dead. This is where I first met her. I think she said she was done here, though. Was it Reachcliff Cave we lured that guy to that one time? Let's ride down the road. She's probably there. And she was, but I was mistaken. I really thought you could marry Iola, but I'm not getting the text options. Checked Google, and yeah, I think I got her mixed up with the lady that performs the Black Sacrament in the Dark Brotherhood questline named Miri? I'm not sure how to say it. She works in the Hag's Cure in Markov and isn't nearly as evil. She's evil, but not as evil. Come on. Doing the walk of shame after being rejected. I'm not sure who else makes sense to marry in this playthrough. I'm getting my butt out of the reach. Let's hop on the carriage. You know what? I'm just gonna marry Farkas. I know I'm rebounding here and it's not healthy. Leave me be. Farkas. Wait, crap. What? Do I have to beat the companions questline and not just join them? I'm not seeing the option here either. I'm spending way too much time on this, but somebody's marrying me now. I'm on a mission. The only big questline I finished is the College of Winterhold. I believe I can marry some people from there now. You'll do. I admit, you weren't my first choice, but I think we can make this work. She wants help with some experiments first, though. She casted a spell on me, but not in the good way, and now I'm to wait for the effects to wear off. I'm a test subject. I don't see any bad active effects it added. My body looks fine too. Don't see anything off with me. Wonder how long I have to wait. I'm in the Archmage's quarters, collecting all of the ingredients that grow here while I wait. That wasn't enough time. She still isn't ready for the next part. All right, let's go. Oh crap, that's an Elder Dragon. I'm running. This getting married thing is taking too long, so I'll go confront Harken and I'll come back to her later. Hopefully it's not the end of me. This dragon though, I have never been chased so far in Skyrim, like ever. From the College of Winterhold all the way over to Windhelm with so many distractions in the way, and it's still on me. Harken must have paid him to take me out. The carriage driver at Windhelm won't take me anywhere because of the aggro. Yes, we're riding there ourselves. Did even try the Whiterun carriages, but he won't take me either. This is silly. Just gonna ride the entire way there. We're going to the vampire's castle. This was a solid 20-minute ride from Winterhold, but I'm here. Made a save here too, just in case, because I'm a little worried about the fight. The summons I've got are okay, but I'm not sure they're on Harken's level. During this part, if you're on the Dawnguard side, there is a fight on the bridge normally. But on the vampire side, nobody really is expecting you to come murder their leader. Harken is already in his vampire lord form though, and was expecting me by the looks of things. He admits to planning on killing me when the prophecy is done. And now we have a fight on our hands. And I gotta tell you something. I was right to be worried about this fight. Harken heals like you wouldn't believe. And the damage Sharana and my skeletons are doing is nowhere near good enough. Thought using my Warlock might help him not use Vampiric Drain or heal in general, but it wasn't doing anything really. Tried summoning Durnehviir too, but there isn't enough room in here. This is not going my way. I even tried to see what would happen if I give him Auriel's bow to see if that would finish the questline, but it didn't. He just called me names and proceeded to kick my butt. Didn't even get to the point where I could use Auriel's bow at all. So I reloaded a save. Got everything from the questline I wanted, so it's not all been a waste of time. Got Sharana as a follower, Durnehviir for my main shout, and got turned into a vampire to benefit from the Necromage perk. So I'll say it's been a success. Besides, getting my behind kicked. Man, this last week has been rough. Been rejected like 2 times, and a vampire lord wiped the floor with me. I'm gonna work on my endgame set of armor. We have the mask and ring as permanent items in our set, but there's still the necklace, chest piece, gauntlets, and boots to be upgraded. I want Daedric gear. We'll need Daedra hearts to accomplish that. There's one in Yarvaska where the companions hang out over where you meet Kodlak right here on this plate. Got the second one I needed from the alchemist in town. Now we need one more, which I thought I had stored back at the farm, but I was wrong. I really need to get better about buying things I need for the future as I go throughout the playthroughs. I've probably seen a good few hearts on sale by this point and I just not bought them. Checked Morphal's alchemist store, but nothing. Same with Solitude. They all seem to have the same items for sale. Realizing how much I'm flying around the map when I play this game. Fast forward to when I did find a third heart. It was in Riften's alchemy store. I got it from Elgrim. Now we can make the gauntlets, chest piece, and boots. This will be my main set for the rest of the video. So I want enchanting to be level 100 to have 2 enchants on each piece of gear too. Grinding out the rest of the levels will begin right now. I love the backpacks that got added in the anniversary edition, but god, do they look out of place on most characters. I sold my Orcish Gear and started wearing the Daedric stuff. It's not enchanted or upgraded, but it's saving me some carry space. I feel like someone in the Skyrim world walking around in Daedric armor, a dragon's priest mask, and a Daedric artifact ring would look pretty out of place and impressive. But then, bam, got his happy little rucksack strapped to him. Anyway, I got my enchanting to level 95 today. We're getting close. The last few levels are always a grind. I was buying out fill gems to enchant things I was smithing and also fill in my own gems with the standard mudcrab souls. Looks like today's the day. There's the last item enchanted, bringing us up to level 100 in enchanting. On day 65, it's happened. But before I get to making my main set for the build, I want to go see if the spell that woman cast on me is worn off. And if we can progress making our little cannibal family. I'm very tired and hungry, but I'll sort that out when I get to Winterhold. I made it, and I'm not sure I've ever been this tired in survival mode. Went right over to the free bed in the college to sleep for a good few hours and then checked in on the love interest. But nope, no option to progress the quest. Google says I did not need the amount of time that's passed. It's way less we need to wait to finish it. And you know what? I don't need to get married. I'm still adopting to pass on my ways though. Windhelm's just down the road. I'm gonna go adopt Sophie, which is how you pronounce that name. I've always said it as Sophia. My bad. She's just on the Windhelm streets selling flowers, hoping to make enough gold to buy some food that way. I bought all of her flowers and offered to adopt her. Then sent her to the home I bought in Whiterun. Off to Dawnstar next, taking the carriage over there for the second adoptee. The other person I'd like to teach my cannibal ways to is Allison. I think he can be found sleeping on the floor around here somewhere. Oh, he's at the inn. Some reason I thought he'd be outside. He has no family left and just lingers around town. He's another adoption option in the game. Offered to take care of him and sent him with Sophie over to the Whiterun home. Also hitting the farm. Been a bit since I collected my ingredients here. Alright, I think I've decided what enchants I want on my gear. Spending perks real quick. I want extra effect to put 2 enchants on the same item while enchanting. Then over to the smithing tree for arcane blacksmith. Lets me improve already enchanted gear at grindstones and workbenches. That will be nice for things like my dragon priest mask. Lastly, I took the third Juggernaut perk for a 60% better armor rating. Got all of my stuff enchanted and upgraded at the workbench, and this is what I got. On my gauntlets, I picked plus 40 points of carry weight and plus 68 points of magicka. Then on my chest piece, I went for conjuration spells costing 27% less to cast and an extra 70% with the magicka regenerating 10% faster. Boots have increased shock resistance by 40% and I have another 40 points into carry weight, bringing us up to 344 carry weight, which is awesome compared to what we had. My necklace has 27% into Conjuration and 68 points into Magicka. We have the backpack I've been using the entire time, and then the Ring of Namira that lets me eat people and gives me some extra stamina. Lastly, the mask has given me 20% cost reduction to Conjuration spells too. My armor rating is a huge 664. That paired with a pretty decent health pool, I don't think much will be killing me now. My most expensive spell I use is now costing absolutely no magicka. The main reason I was just pumping health was because this was the plan to get magicka boosted with enchanting anyways. Circling back to the adoptions. Went into Bree's home and checked in on my family. And then quickly started to remove all of the normal people food from the house. Lydia is hiding some cheese. I'll take that. No sweet rolls in this home either. Now that that's been sorted, I'm replacing the food that was once here with human flesh. Yep, been collecting some ready for this, and the day has finally come. Whose flesh is it? I have no idea. that's not important. What is important is the house is fed and we can do some other things, like interfere in the Civil War storyline. I'm off to Windhelm. Yep, this time around I'm joining the Stormcloaks and staying on this side. I go with the Imperials 90% of the time these days and I fancy a change. You have to stop in at the Candlehalf Hall to rest up. Standing by the fires first. I'm very cold. Bought some food from the innkeeper and rested for a good few hours. Now, I'm in good condition and ready to talk to Skyrim's true High King. Calm down, Imperials. That was a joke. Maybe. Talked to Ulfric briefly about joining and I was handed over to Galmar Stonefist, who sent me on a test to see if I can survive Serpent Stone Island and kill an Ice Wraith. My warlock in the Ice Wraith had an epic battle behind Windhelm before the Bone Boy came out on top. I returned to report my success and was told I'm being taken along on an important mission to get the Jagged Crown. Its location has been located, and the Stormcloaks want to get this symbolic item before the Imperials do.
Sure. What can I do for you? You must be a Stormcloak through and through to request that one. We drink to our youth, to the days come and gone, for the age of oppression is now nearly done. We'll drive out the Empire from this land that we own. With our blood and our steel we will take back our home. All hail to Ulfric, you are the High King. In your great honor we drink and we sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies. But this land is ours and we'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams.
Whatever you've heard I can do is probably true.
I have the crown and I'm ready to hand it over to Ulfric. Now it's time to play Mailboy. Ulfric wants me to deliver an axe to the Jarl of Whiterun. He doesn't explain what's going on, but if the Jarl accepts the axe, then there won't be trouble, and I think it means he'll be handing over Whiterun to Ulfric. If he returns the axe, then it's going to kick off, and Ulfric will try to take the town by force. The Jarl does not accept the axe. He wants me to turn my naked butt around and give it back to him. So I do just that. One reason why I wanted to do this storyline is because I honestly love the idea of raising my zombie dragon in the middle of a massive war. Returned the axe and was told to meet Galmar out in the field for my next orders. Those orders will be to help take Whiterun from Jarl Balgruuf. There's already catapults going crazy. I'm a little late to the party, but in we go. If you're on the Imperial side here, you defend the city and take out Stormcloaks until a percentage of them drops to 0. But with us being on the Stormcloak side, we just have to progress through the city to make it to the Jarl and have him surrender. Called for Durnehviir, and here we go. Taking the city that houses my home and adopted children. We storm the gate while the dragon flanks around, taking out some of the inside before we get past the spikes. My defense and health pool is pretty great, and I can tank arrow shots even on legendary difficulty, so I'm not worried about running by everything to the drawbridge. Gotta drop this down, allowing our side to progress into the city. Durnehviir followed inside, which is awesome. I got a dragon lurking overhead while we again run through the city. Past the guards and right to Dragon's Reach. There was some guards that met us at the door, but they died oddly fast. Then, I raised them with the Ritual Stone and took the fight to Irilith and Balgruuf. They really stand no chance with all of these reanimations running around, and they absolutely didn't. They don't die though. The health gets knocked a ton and they surrender. Vignar is taking his spot as the Jarl of Whiterun, and that's the job done. Ulfric wasn't anywhere to be seen here. Shocker. Had to run all the way back to Windhelm to let him know Whiterun is ours. Now he wants me to help take Falkreath from the Imperials next. I rode on over and got my orders from Galmar again. This one is another non-percentage war mission. It's nice to change things up, but I'm for sure gonna say I enjoy the Imperial missions over these. Not even down to who I like more. Just down to how much fun each side's quests are. Durnehviir's running roughshod over the place, and I'm heading to the inner area to free our prisoners captured at the fort. They gear back up and will help us take out what's left of the Imperials. And so do the Imperials. I raised them to help take out their own kind. I truly love playing a Necromancer. Everyone's dead. Let's go tell Ulfric the fort's ours. The jerk's sleeping. Gonna give him a nibble on the neck while he's defenseless. Yum. Told him about our win and he gave me the next objective. It's the Reach. For God knows what reason, he wants the Forsworn infested Reach. He's going back to bed while I go risk my life for him. It's okay, I wrecked his table again on the way out. Taking a carriage over to the Reach too. Lots of traveling today, made it to Markov, and before we try to take over the area, I need to rest up. Beds here suck, but I managed to get a few hours. Now I'm off to find the Stormcloak camp. It's tucked away in a mountain, and Galmar thinks the Jarl of Markov's steward worships Talos, which is strictly forbidden, and it wouldn't be good for him if their info became public. The important people hang out at the Understone Keep, and going over to the steward's room and breaking in, we can go into his drawer and find an amulet of Talos. This is the proof and leverage we need. I took it and showed the steward what I'd found. He asks I follow him, and to buy my silence, he gives me 1,500 gold and the travel route of some weapons and silver the Imperials are transporting. I again go back to Galmar to let him know. Now, I'm to meet with some men to ambush the carriage transporting the goods. Raylof's not far from the carriage and says he's been tracking one himself for a while, and it appears to be the one I'd heard about too. Broken down on the road, which is great for me. Summoned Durnehviir and walked right up to the jerks and looted the carriage. They didn't like that, and now we're gonna try to take me out. But I have a zombie dragon that won't let that happen. The cart is ours. Told Galmar back at the camp, and as much as the cart is ours, that won't do much with us wanting to take the Reach. He wants us to take an important fort once again. It's actually not too far from my farm, so I'm gonna collect my stuff, and you know what? I realize I don't need ingredients that are for magicka potions anymore. Since we have that enchanted stuff, it really doesn't matter. We can swap those out now. The Conjuration potions are still good because they don't lower the cost of them, but increase the time the spells last for. I'll swap them out later, but for now I have a fort to take. I've used Durnehviir a lot lately, and that sadly does not raise my Conjuration at all. And there's still spells I'd like to get access to that won't become available to me until I level up the tree some more. So back to my skeletons and raising the dead Imperials. This is a percentage-based quest, and I love it. Just killing enemies until the number on screen drops to 0. I don't know what it is about these quests. I guess I find them really satisfying watching the number drop. That was a good time, and the fort is ours. Let's get back to let Ulfric know the Reach is ours. Looks like he's daydreaming. Pretty relatable. He's able to have a full-blown conversation while doing so. Anyway, next up is Jarl March. Let's go find Galmar in the next camp. Similar stuff here. Minor task first. This time, getting our hands on some Imperial documents nicely from a courier, so we can forge and give some bad orders to the legate in Morphel. Then over to the fort to lay waste to the Imperial wildlife. Fort's ours, and so is Jarl March. Serana's beefing with a mage at the college. I lost some footage. All you missed was me traveling. That would have been about 2 seconds of the video, and I kicked a dragon's butt. I'm here checking if there's any new spells available, but I don't see anything new for sale that would fit my build. I'm a little worried because I want the spell that lets me permanently raise a dead person, so when I kill General Tullius, we can be friends. I might need my Conjuration to level 100. I forget. So off to the very last fort we are taking. Right after talking to Galmar at Solitude Stormcloak camp, we can... What are you doing, Avec? He's sniffing the grass a little too hard there. Galmar's sending me to one last fort to take, and I'm using it to fill up on soul gems. Yep, casting Soul Trap on everyone and just letting my Stormcloak buddies take them down for me. Okay, I'm totally not. I'm using this place to grind Conjuration. This gives a lot of XP, and I easily got the Conjuration skill up to level 100 before we got the place down to even 60%. Used Durnehviir to finish them off nicely, and now I believe we can go to Solitude's gates to take back Skyrim. But I did max out Conjuration, so let's go get some new spells from Winterhold. Right, taking Conjuration's Twin Souls so we can have 2 summons or reanimations, and I'll also take Master Conjuration. That now does nothing for us with our enchantments, but I kind of want to get every perk in the tree, so I might as well get it now. I can summon both our Champion and Warlock if we wanted at once. This is great. The summoner at the college has 0 new spells like I thought he would, but we can now do the Master Spells quest for the tree since we hit level 100 for it. The Conjuration one is very, very easy. All we gotta do is summon a Dromora on the roof of the college and beat it into submission. Doing that a few times until he submits and says he'll bring me a sigil stone from where he comes from. Linus looks into the stone and learns its power and now has master spells available for purchase. The only one that's useful to us is Dead Thrall, that allows me to permanently raise a dead person. Only works on people, sadly, and not just like anything dead. I want to go play around with my new powers. We can summon 2 Arvex now too. Kinda cute. The second one follows us around while we ride the first. I love it. So I wanted to do some experimenting using the Dead Thrall spell. I have a few questions I want answered. They are now to bandit camp full of people, and the first question I got is how permanent is the summon? I know it has no timer set for it to turn to ash, but is it like important NPCs where they just go on the knees for a bit when their health is low, or can it die through combat? Of my 2 permanent summons and fight in the inside area of the bandit camp, the Khajiit totally died. But Serana ended up raising it herself afterwards, and when it died after she raised it, it did turn to ash. So when my dead thralls die, they just fall to the ground, allowing me to reanimate them over and over. But if I raise Tullius, for example, or any of my other favorite dead people, then I have to worry about them dying and Serana turning them to ash with her crappy spell. So really, she isn't a great choice as a follower anymore. I'm also not sure I can raise Tullius. You might reject the spell, like that other guy did when I got my cannibal ring. Something to remember is using Odahviing does count as one of my summons. And Something to remember is using Odahviing does count as one of my summons, and will make one of the dead thralls fall to you. Thankfully, they aren't turned to ash doing that, so it's an easy fix, but if I have 2 thralls I really like, then it means I can't use Odahviing. Anyway, checked in on the Stormcloak camp located near Solitude, and it's time to take the city. Ulfric finally showed his face on the battlefield and has given a speech I couldn't care less about. We went in and I thought it was fitting to use both my skeletons here while we ran through the city. And let me tell you, I did run. Solitude felt infinitely easier to get through compared to Windhelm. There's some tricky corners in Windhelm that I wasn't really running into here. Maybe it's because I'm pretty OP by this point with my armor and summons, who knows. But I quickly made it to Castle Door to confront Rika and Tullius with Galmar and Ulfric. Rika is standing her ground, but Tullius looks defeated, feeling sorry for himself. After a passionate few words from Rika, a fight broke out, and even Tullius is getting involved. Got the champion and warlock in there. It's going pretty well. One thing I will say about the Solitude side of the thing. Ouch, you stupid little ankle biter. Rika is 100% going down first. There she goes. Raised her up, just as Tullius is near death too. She didn't resist, so that's good. Gave Ulfric the final blow on Tullius, and sadly, Tullius is listed as too powerful to raise. I'm devastated. Thought we could be good friends. At least, I got Rika. I can still eat him, so that's good. Feel a little bit closer to him already. His armor, I will say, is maybe my favorite piece in the game. Looks super cool, especially with my mask. Not sure I want to upgrade another item, so I'll probably stick to the Daedric stuff. It's over. The rebellion has taken back Skyrim for the Nords, and Ulfric is given another speech I could not care less about. Let's go find something to do. After some selling items and harvesting ingredients, I'm back here trying to slay this stupid vampire lord again. I know I have 2 skeletons. Rika didn't follow me in here. To my surprise, the 2 champions got Harkin's health down low enough between the healing to get him to do this stage, where he bolts up but needs to be shot with Auriel's bow to stop his healing. After that, he went back to being annoying and would heal up way before getting his health to the next stage. Only really getting a quarter of that crap gone. Used the warlocks to see if it would stop him healing using the shock spells, but nope. The flying form is the issue. The grounded form he goes into is where we can do damage, but there isn't enough time to get his health down before he shoots back up into fly mode, where he gets all his healing powers from those spells. This is not happening today. We have Rika, a fresh zombie we've acquired, but we can get a not so fresh zombie to use to our advantage too. I got this letter ages ago that reads, "Someone please help. A group of necromancers are experimenting with conjuring zombies using ancient, dangerous magic, which I fear will have unintended and irreversible consequences. I was expelled from their studies as their ambitions grew into folly against my warnings. They're performing a ritual to summon a large group of these foul, uncontrollable creatures as we speak in the southernmost area of Skyrim, and must be stopped before it's too late." Luckily, I'm in the southernmost area of Skyrim already, after some traveling. Passing by Falkreath, and we can travel a little bit up the mountain, past Helgen, to this ritual site where we can find a silly amount of zombos to get slapped around by. Killed a few of them and use the ritual stone to raise my own little army. After killing them all and investigating the ritual site further, I find some notes that complete the quest. Kinda simple, but that will now unlock some new spells to buy from the mage at the college, right after everyone blasts this dragon into oblivion. I'm not sure Skyrim needs a dragonborn. They're handling this pretty well. It's dead up there, and now I can get my butt-naked putrid zombie. This is the best one I could see for sale. Let's go try them out somewhere. Oh look, randomly bumped into Bleak Falls. I had no idea where I was wandering. honestly. Okay, I can't help it. Whenever I want to try out weapons or spells or whatever the heck, I like to come here if I'm able. The zombies are kicking butt, I will say. This day's the best. 2 zombies, a cannibal, his vampire buddy, and her reanimated skeleton. Sounds like a perfect group for a sitcom. I'll call it Friends. I won't be there for you, but I'll be there for this Draugr's death. The twins did great, and I love them. Alright, Avec, don't gotta be so dramatic when you die. We have 16 days left, and the Dragon Menace is still haunting the skies in the form of the World Eater Alduin. I've not even spoken to the Graybeards yet, so I took the carriage to Riften since the start of the steps to them is on this side of the mountain, and started to make my way. Skyrim decided to remind me how pretty she was. I know the game looks better than when it launched with the version I'm playing, but I don't even care. 13-year-old game still gets me to stop and admire it. Anyway, going up that mountain in the distance to meet the Graybeards. Since we're a pretty high level now, instead of there being wolves or spiders on the walk there's instead bears and trolls. Almost the whole way up. But just like my IRL problems, I ignored them and made it to where I wanted to go. The Graybeards are masters of the voice, who tried to teach me some things about my ability to shout. I did take in what they said, but showed off my zombie dragon I've been commanding with my voice for weeks now. Which I regretted because the cooldown on that jerk is insane. It looks like the cooldown gets cut for the whirlwind sprint shout, so that's nice. Anyway, I have a task to get the horn of Jurgen Windcaller for them. Mostly just as a small trial. It doesn't do anything. I should really start using the steps back off the mountain. This happens way more than it doesn't. Rolled my way to the crypt it rests at, and after eating the people at the door, I went on in to get the horn. Used a combination of all my favorite summons like the twins, warlocks, and champions. Not much crazy happened. Got a war of the undead in this corridor. The horn wasn't here, sadly. You instead find a note from someone that took the horn saying to go to the Sleeping Giant Inn in Riverwood and rent the attic room. The attic room can wait. Since the carriage stops at Whiterun, might as well pop home and check on things. I need some rest. But things were not good. It's a mess here. The human flesh is all over the floor. Come on, I got all of this nicely laid out. I've been gone for 5 minutes. Can you believe this? Had a rest and I'm off. Off to Riverwood. The person who took the horn was my new BFF, Delphine. That was a lie. Tried to barricade the door to keep her away from me, but she's far too powerful. She gave me the horn back and explained what she's all about. She's a member of the Blades, a group that are the dragon's #1 haters. So naturally, she wants to know the person who can eat their souls, but wants proof. We went off to a place called Kyne's Grove to find a newly resurrected dragon that she found out would be a target for Alduin soon. See, dragons weren't gone somewhere and are now back. But they've been coming back to life and have actually been dead this entire time. Alduin is raising them from the dead. My kinda guy. He flew off, leaving me to deal with the reanimation. Started off with my ranged warlocks, since the enemy will be in the sky for some of the fight. And then, when we got its health down enough where it would be grounded, I used my own Skygaggo to finish it off. Delphine is impressed with my Dragon Eating and says we should see if the Thalmor are behind this whole thing. We're doing the Thalmor Embassy party quest next, and Serana. Come on. Yeah, so we're sneaking into the Thalmor party using a fake invitation. Now, all the way up in Solitude, giving Malborn, who's a smuggler, my gear so he can sneak it into the party. Thalmor are strict on security, so I can't just walk through the gates with my Daedric armor. Now to go meet Delphine so she can get me some party clothes and cart me off to that party.
Have you given Malborn the gear you want to smuggle into the embassy?
What does it look like? I'm off, and normally I always do this quest the same way by getting the drunk at the party to cause a scene, but I was curious if there were other ways to do it. And I ended up feeling very bad. Found out this man likes the drinks girl, but he's a bit of a knob to say the least. Told him I'd talk to her, and I did. But she wasn't interested. He causes a scene about it, and that's our cue to run off with Malborn, who's tending the bar. Grabbed my gear and necromanced my way through the back of the place, looking for anything about dragons. I didn't find anything saying they were behind the dragon situation, but did find a journal that belongs to someone called Espern, and promptly left out to the back through a trapdoor. Cutting it closer, 12 days left to save the world. I'd also like to get that bone Colossus, or however you say it. It's a master level spell that's some kind of big skeleton, so it would be perfect for me. I hit all of the right criteria to have it be available to me, but it's just never for sale when I check at the college. Anyway, grab my stuff from Delphine's chest. This is everything I didn't have smuggled into the party for me earlier. Now we need to tell her what we found out. But she's aggroed on something, and I can't get past to see what because of this stupid tight stairway. Delphine, you better move. I'm trashing the place down here. Waited an hour and she's chill now. Told her about Esbern, and she thinks we should try to find him before the Thalmor do. He's a dragon expert, and it probably wouldn't fare well if the Thalmor found him before we found him. Delphine, I swear to God. I eat people, you know. Stuck again. Made it out, and we're heading for Riften's Ratways, where Esbern has been hiding out, apparently. I'm here, and the game wants you to search around the inn, asking people like the innkeeper and Brynjolf about where Esbern is hiding. But I'm on a time limit here, so I'm going right to where he's at. I normally like playing through the little objectives, but not today. Pushed through the Ratways, ignored everyone at the Ragged Flagon, and went into the Warrens. The Thalmor are already here, but it's okay. Killed them and made it to the locked door he's hiding behind.
Go away!
Quick, I want to check the college has that Bone Colossus spell thing. Told him I'm best buds with Delphine, and he agreed to come with me to the Sleeping Giant Inn to have a chat with her. But like I said, I want to check in on the college really quickly to see. The Conjuration Mage didn't have the spell I wanted, but I did see a better zombie spell called Malignant Zombie. That is an expert spell versus the other Putrid Zombie just being an adept spell. They don't look too much different, but I'll believe they are stronger. Better get back to Delphine with Esbern. Esbern's another member of the Blades, and they are thrilled to see each other once again. This is how much I was paying attention here. I'd not touched the keyboard and mouse for long enough that the camera started circling around me trying to get my attention. I'm on my phone. Go away. Ah yes, Calfspire. Let's go.
Don't worry, I'll get Esbern there in one piece.
I really don't care. We're going to somewhere called Calfspire to have a look for a wall that has all of the accumulated dragon lore written on it. It will hopefully help us figure out how to defeat Alduin. The dragon wall is in the Reach and has a Forsworn camp plastered around the outside. Perfect time to try my new zombies. It's really just more damage and probably a bit more health. Otherwise, they are the exact same. I love them though. They're great. I'm also taking like a lot of damage right now. What is going on? Oh, I'm apparently ill. That will explain it. Severe brown rot makes my armor be 75% less effective. Luckily, I've got some cure disease potions that will clear that sucker right up. Killed them and the dragon that always turns up, and then headed on into Calfspire. It's a cave that once you kill the deer lovers, you can find Skyhaven Temple inside of. The home of the Dragon Wall. The head won't reveal the entrance without the Dragonborn first giving some blood to the Blood Seal. I did that, and I'm in. The cinematic camera is back. I can't help it. These two are a snorefest. They're talking about the wall though, and after playing so many times, I know they mentioned that the old Nords used a shout to help defeat Alduin in the past. The Graybeards might be able to help. We officially have just 1 week left to defeat the World Eater. I think I was panicking about the time limit a little bit too much earlier. 7 days is plenty of time. Saving an entire day or two trying to find the scroll since we found it earlier in the Dawnguard DLC too. Walking up the 7,000 steps again, we have a busy day ahead of us. Gave the horn back to the Graybeards and was told they can't help me with the shout used to defeat Alduin, but their leader Parthenax maybe can. They told me the Clear Sky shout to help me clear the harsh weather to go further up the mountain to find him. Parthenax is a dragon, who too can't teach me the shout, but tells me how I could maybe learn it. Using the Elder Scroll to get shown the past to learn the dragon crippling shout from the Nords who defeated Alduin the first time around. I now know Dragonrend, and leaving the past, Alduin himself has turned up and isn't too happy. The game wants you to learn to get familiar with Dragonrend here, but I absolutely cannot stand this fight. Dragonrend forces a dragon to land temporarily, and it's just so silly how short the length of time they land for actually is. Sometimes he touched the floor and popped right back up. You can say it was just the one word I was shouting, but I did do the full 3 words towards the second half of the fight, and most of the time he was hit with it, he just spent the time flying around trying to land. And when he did land, it just wore right off. Even as someone who's doing hardly anything here, I wouldn't have had time to do anything even if I wasn't just relying on skeletons and zombies. Constantly swapping between Clear Skies to stop his rockfall attack and Dragonrend to briefly bring him down to do maximum damage. It's very doable, but just not a fun fight as much as I love the game. Anyways, his health is shot. but he can't be killed here. He flees to heal up, and we are to find out where he's run off to. Talking to Parthenex, Alduin can actually dip his wings into Sovngarde to consume souls there to heal up. It's spoilers, but he does it through an active portal to Sovngarde. And Parthenex says I could ask the Whiterun Jarl if I could use Dragonreach to trap a dragon friend of Alduin and see if it will help me out. Dragonreach houses a giant dragon trap right at the top. Yeah, so we are way ahead of schedule. So I'm gonna go check again for that Bone Colossus spell. I won't get it. That's not a spoiler. That's knowing I'm having bad luck prior to going in. I was totally right in thinking I won't. Probably willed it into reality with my negativity, but here we are. This person still won't progress her quest with me, so I'm not getting married to her still.
This must be that beautiful Skyrim weather I've always heard about.
Now that I've murdered Serana, better go talk to that Jarl. She's fine, honestly. She's moving around down there. Gonna be weird asking someone that's not Balgruuf if he can help you. This feels wrong. He's not even in the palace.
I am hereby granting you permission to purchase property in Whiterun.
Doesn't even know I live here already. Anyways, I popped the question, and he said yes, he will help. With the Jarl's permission, now I need to know the name of the dragon to call. It's pointing me to Esbern, who's all the way in the reach at Skyhaven Temple. Oh, what is going on here? It's a zombie party, and Skyrim's best necromancer wasn't invited. I'm sad. Not sure I've ever arrived from this angle, but I'm here. Just talking to Esbern about the dragon's name, and he wants me to kill Parthenex. I don't have to, but I have that objective now if I wanted to. Parthenex was very good friends with Alduin back in the day and did some pretty crappy stuff. So now that they've learned about the Graybeards leader being him, they want me to take him out. But I'm here to learn the dragon's name to call. He lets me know of one called Odahviing. We have everything we need, but I'm on day 96. Saving the world on day 100 sounds good. There's an Imperial camp parked up right on my farm's doorstep. What? Can't have that. I know I'm not supposed to do damage with anything other than the Necromancer stuff. The zombies weren't attacking the injured people. The legate also won't die. The jerk, some reason, is important and just goes down on his knees and pops right back up. It's still a win. He has to live here alone. I'm at the farm to harvest my ingredients, and I even made the alchemy skill a legendary skill, meaning I can get all of the perk points back and the skill is knocked down to level 15 again. I honestly haven't been using many potions lately, so it's not a big deal at all, and I'm dumping all of the points into Conjuration to max out the tree. Yep, I did it. Spam crafted potions, getting levels, and getting alchemy back up a lot too. I'd get that back up in no time, casually stopping by the farm from time to time, so it's no issue. I'm feeling pretty silly right now. I went to check on the Conjuration Mage again, and still no Bone Colossus. So I YouTubed some videos about the spell to check comments and to see if anyone else was having the same problem. They were, and it turns out the issue is my character level. We need to be level 48, not just have my Conjuration up high. I'm currently 2 levels away. I made enchanting a legendary skill too, and just grinded this up a little. There's easier ways, but this is how I'm doing it. Using any soul gems I can get my hands on and any items I can make or buy to enchant. Leveling up pretty fast. I've spent all day grinding. I'm still level 46, but I'm hoping when I sleep, I'll wake up level 48. But nope. So close. Where's Farkas? I have some gold to dump into heavy armor training. Take it. Level 48. I knew there was a reason I tried to marry you, but got rejected. Sleep to get my level up and got the Bone Colossus spell from the Mages College for 2,000 gold. Summons a Bone Colossus for 2 minutes. While active, conjured skeletons regenerate health and you can summon 2 additional skeletons. Only 1 Colossus can be summoned at a time. This is great, but I need sleep. I'm knackered. What I'm curious about is if that bonus skeleton stacks with my perk that lets me summon 2 summons. There is the Bone Colossus. He's mad about a dragon outside. Either that, or he's camera shy. 1, 2, 3 skeleton champions and the Bone Colossus. This is awesome. I can even summon a 4th one at the cost of the Colossus because the effect continues on for however long the summon would have lasted. There's an ancient dragon out here that turned up at the perfect time to try out my new army of undead. The Colossus can shout and stagger the dragon while doing damage with my champions. This makes me so happy. Pretty tough dragon, so with all of the summons, I was still here for a while, but constantly Dragonrending his butt to the ground. My friends slowly but surely took down the poor thing's health. It stood no chance at all. Alright, by the time we get over to Whiterun, rest and eat, then get the dragon trapped. It'll be day 100, so we better move. Carriaged over to Whiterun. Bought some food from the innkeeper, rested at Yarvaska for free, and ate some apple pie with 2 hours left of the day. I also give the Jarl a nibble while he was sleeping. Got a nice balanced diet going on here. Told him I'm ready to trap the lizard and headed to the roof to call its name. This part's easy. Just Dragonrending him, luring him into the keep to have the trap catch him around the neck. Tells me some dragons are doubting Alduin's reign. And he'll even take me to where the active portal to Sovngarde is located if I release him. So I do. And now we're hopping on his neck and flying off to Skuldafn.
This is as far as I can take you. Griffworth Akrin. I will look for your return. Or Alduin's.
He's off. And so am I. We have to get through this place to get to the portal. Skuldafn, as you would think, is loaded with enemies to get through. Draugr and dragons flood the place, using the Colossus to lead the charge on the joint. It's awkward even with so many friendlies, because they all get distracted fighting their own enemy, so it's a little bit slow. The Draugr also get low on health and go to their knees, while whatever was attacking it will no longer see it as a threat, moving on to the next enemy, giving the knee lover some time to heal. So it's not until all of the Draugr are low on health that they actually start to die, it seems like. What I'm getting at is I wish I could give them specific targets to lock onto. Skuldafn has these offshoots to explore. They won't progress you closer to Alduin, but they're nice to go into to keep warm. It's cold out there. I wasn't paying attention here, but I got so cold that I decided to leg it to the inside of the area we need to go through instead of continuing to clear enemies. But I died right at the door. I made it eventually, again using the Colossus to lead our army. There's constantly a wall of Draugr lined up in front of the line of skeletons. Luckily, mine can be respawned. They don't get that pleasure. Did eventually make it back out, and it's light out now. I tried to be cheeky again. The portal to Sovngarde can be ran into very easily while the Dragon Priest attempts to close it. My stamina being a vampire is very rubbish in the sun, and it failed me, letting the priest close it as I was trying to jump in. I am royally screwed. All of this aggro, and yep, I'm dead. The second attempt, I took my time a little bit more. Osrodad the Draugr off the side when I could, and Dragonrended the dragons to keep them down, allowing my skeleton army to get the jump on them. As for the priest, I had to fight it. Well, my skeletons had to fight for me. Use the Colossus and 3 warlocks to chip away at the health. They killed it. I grabbed its staff and used it to open the portal back up it closed. Now we can go into Sovngarde and hopefully not just kill Alduin, but warm up. I can confirm it's warm in here. Better find the World Eater. See, he's hiding in the mist, so we need to get it all cleared out. I found this hunk. He won't let me pass unless I prove myself. So I surrounded him with skeletons and we beat him into submission. Now we can pass the Bone Bridge and visit the Hall of Valor to meet the heroes that sent Alduin forward in time, making him my problem. You jerks are gonna help. And they did. We all used clear skies to clear the fog together, forcing Alduin to accept our challenge. There is 3 heroes that use melee, so I opted for the Colossus and 3 warlocks. With 7 friendlies, this might be one of the easiest Alduin fights I've ever done. Or not, he just nuked my health. Got some healing potions, it's fine. He also uses his rockfall power a lot, but using clear skies will stop the attack for a while. Having to use Dragonrend to get him to the ground so everyone can do damage. The warlocks can zap him while he's flying around, but if he's on the ground, we will do so much more damage. Even the hunk is down there helping out. With 8 people smacking him around, it wasn't long before he was grounded permanently. The rest of his health bar followed, and this has never happened to me. I thought he was broken, but it turns out he needed a love tap from me to die. Alduin is dead, and the world is saved. Sovngarde's soul trap is broken, and so is the character we've created. I had a lot of fun with this one. You guys have a good rest of your day. Once again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. The game is free to play on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and mobile, so use my link in either the pinned comment or video description to play. As a reminder, new and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive that Beyond Massive bonus pack on PC and consoles. Available for a limited time only, so what are you waiting for? Get out there and I'll see you on the battlefield.